Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between, yeah, it's all that. And we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Welcome. It is what it is. It is what it be. This is Grapsody, and I am echoing from somewhere. I don't know why, but you know what it is. I'm Phil Lindsey. I'm here with Righteous Reg, who is somewhere in the world.
I'm not anywhere. I'm at home. This is my regular space. I'm always here. This is Righteous Reg's sanctuary, as they say. No, I'm on location, I think. Just shooting. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I like green screened in Will Washington's old background? Wouldn't that be cool? Sure,
why not?
Does it look like green screen? It's a good looking green screen, huh?
I don't know. Red light, green light.
What's up, y'all? What's up? It's Grapsody. It's Righteous Reg, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. Trying to get used to this setup. That's the same setup. That's mine. Learn how to talk on this mic and everything. What's up with you, Phil?
I'm good. Just got back in. Sunny outside. It's a nice, beautiful Saturday morning. I am at peace knowing that the Bears had a bye last week, and I didn't have to worry or stress about them losing a game. We're up. We're 4-2, baby.
Wow.
Chicago Bulls won their game. Down with those Milwaukee guys, raining threes from the heavens on them bros. Like, you know what time it is, man.
Bro, you said 4-2? That's crazy.
4-2, buddy. Bear down out here, buddy.
Shout out to Chicago Phil getting to represent for his team. He always, as we know, goes into every season not with the highest expectations because he doesn't want to be let down. And I feel you. But, I'm feeling good for y'all.
Listen, man, we up, buddy, because Bulls are 1-1, and we won't talk about that first game. Opening game tonight against OKC in the United Center. Boys is back in the building, seeing red. Like I said, Bears are 4-2, and today is somebody's birthday.
Is it Drake's?
It is somebody's birthday.
No, that was the other day. It was Drake's birthday.
Just one Chicago legend, guy that controversial guy, troublemaker.
Yes,
the one and only Chick Magnet Punk, baby. Chicagoland, we up, buddy. Y'all know what time it is, baby. Chicago, Illinois, man. Y'all thought I was gonna say it was somebody else's birthday. What do you mean this is, man? Happy birthday to the one and only CM Punk.
That's the best bit we had on the show in a while, dog. You got me so good, dude. I was really set up for it. I was like, damn, he's right into it.
Man, know what time it is. Like I said, Chicago, we up.
Oh, my God, dude, I'm choking. So funny. Shout out to the other Chicago Phil. Happy birthday to my dog. He's up. He's very up this year. Soon to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. What do you want?
Maybe, I don't know.
You got me good, man. That was a really good one.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. We outside. And some dour news before we get into some more stuff. Rest in peace to hip-hop legend, fixture in New York hip-hop, DJ Clark Kent. Massive influence on hip-hop. If it was not for him pushing a young man named Sean Carter, we wouldn't have had so many things. We wouldn't have Jay-Z's career. He introduced Jay-Z to Dame Dash. He also introduced him to Biggie. Yeah, rest in peace to the legend. That really messed me up last night because I was not expecting it at all. I guess he was having a battle with cancer. Mm-hmm. So rest in peace to him.
Yeah, it's I hate again on this podcast talking about this, but it's really unfortunate. I was hearing Clark Kent's name way before I ever heard saw Clark Kent's face or knew who this person was just because of the whole connection. And like every time they would tell the story of Rockefeller and then be like, and then DJ Clark Kent, and then DJ Clark Kent, and then DJ, like every single time. And so eventually, like through podcasts, Drink Champs and things, started to become more familiar with Clark Kent and how he was still very much inside of the culture and just trying to do hip hop and bring hip hop to every space that exists. And it's just so unfortunate that these things happen and it's health reasons like this. Like there's been a couple of times where it's like cancer or it's like something really bad. And it's like, they're fighting the fight, but like you go on his Instagram page and it's still the same, it's still like moving like life's regular, moving like everything's good. And then you wake up to news like, or you go to sleep to news like this. And it's just so unfortunate. Rest in peace to DJ Clark Kent. There's not a lot of people that exist in the space that represent hip hop like this guy, like he did and does,
Yeah. Very unfortunate news to see a lot of people talking about him yesterday and talking about how much of an influence he was on them and just like how a part he played in their lives, man. It was just sad. It was sad to see it. The Dirk stuff yesterday was also pretty sad to watch, but man,
I'm still confused about this whole situation with Dirk.
Yeah. Rest in peace to DJ Clark Kent, though.
Yeah, rest in peace to Clark Kent, man. Rest in peace to all the hip hop legends that we've lost this year. It's been a tough one, bro. Tough one.
Definitely been a tough year.
So, yeah. What else is going on? It's Saturday morning. I'm very excited, Phil. I'm feeling really good. I'm breathing in some different air. For some reason, it's higher elevation. I'm supposed to be drinking water and taking pills, I guess, or something. I don't know. Man. It's weird.
Don't pop on the stove. Nope. Move. Don't up. Double shot. Hennessy. Fill my cup.
Let's go. What the wood? Shout out to Ludacris. Anytime they try to disparage the name of Chris Bridges, try to act like he wasn't that dude, I always think about like in 2001. You couldn't tell me that because like every song that I was hearing was Big Ludacris.
Nah, man, definitely Saturday vibes, sticky, icky.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
As always, send us your super chats if you want to be involved in a discussion today. Also, can send us your humper chats via humperchats.com/Fightful, and that's where we get a bit more piece of the cut of your tips. So appreciate it. Appreciate either one.
Yeah, of course. You guys always supporting. Before we really get into it, shout out to the homies over on the Grapsody Discord. Everybody over there having starting the conversation and getting it going. I appreciate y'all. We're going to continue that. I'll link anybody else who wants to be linked to the Discord. Just let me know. Phil Lindsey. You in?
I think so. Maybe.
Okay.
Sure.
Phil's in. They said, hey, go get Phil, Reg. And I'm like, I'll try. I don't know what his Discord spot is like.
Yeah, I don't have a link, so.
I feel like it's always on. Anytime Phil does a show, it's on me. Like when he was supposed to be on the Denise show and he was like, I never got the link. I'm like, yeah, I probably could have sent it to him, I think. We're being counter-programmed next week.
Yeah, guys are back out in Riyadh. Every time they do this on their show and say it's Riyadh season, I was like, bro, that sounds so nasty, bro.
Yeah.
It's Riyadh season, bro.
Riyadh season is insane, dog.
It's wild, dog. But I feel y'all. Well, get it how you feel, man.
Yeah, it's going to be Riyadh season next week, so the boys are being counter-programmed as they're putting the most giantest wrestling championship in the world on the line. Why is that belt so big, Phil?
Big belt. They got to show you the guards every
big
time
belt.
And show you this ridiculous case. They'll bring the case in, and then somebody will like put their hand in there and like wipe it a little bit to let you know it's shiny. Like, I guess, man, it's all diamond flooded, diamond encrusted.
Like they moving the president, dog. I'm like, yo, who's up in there? This is the championship.
Yeah. And they should just zoom in on it and see if Ho's in there with the dancer doing it. Hold me, baby, hold me forever, baby. Hold me tight and call me your lady. Help me scream your name. Well, speaking of, did you see this? That they're doing a sequel to Blue Streak?
I did see that. I was just talking about this with some guy that we used to know. And he was like, how are they going to do that? And I was like, I don't know. Like Chappelle's definitely not going to be there, right?
I don't know if some of his jokes from that movie fly as well in 2024.
That's a fact.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm excited about it, I guess. I'm still into like the Bad Boys. Like, we can do 100 Bad Boys. Like, I'm still into that. So like, if we're gonna kind of continue that thing, then I'm into it. But if they're doing like a new, like, you know, when they did like they brought back Big Mama's House and then it was like his son, it's like, I don't want it.
If this is Martin producing the movie and Martin's not in it, keep it.
Please. But also Martin though.
Yeah. But Martin, man, listen, man, this is one of my favorite Martin movies. It's one of those, every time I see it on, I will stop and watch it. Definitely a comfort movie for me. I don't know how other people feel about it, but it's in my top of all time Martin movies.
How many Martin comfort movies are there? There's a lot. Because Roscoe Jenkins is mine.
Roscoe Jenkins is up there. I say Blue Streak, Life, of course.
Life.
This isn't really a great movie, but I do watch it and laugh at it. Black Knight.
I knew you were going to say it. I was like, he's going to say Black Knight.
I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's one of those movies that if you turn it on, I'll sit and watch it.
Right. Like, I don't feel like Bad Boys is a comfort watch because it's like loud and there's all these explosions and stuff. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it represents something different than other Martin movies do.
Yeah. Big Mama's House is a comfort one as well. He's got a few. He's got about 5.
Yeah. Big Mama's House. Yeah, definitely. Big Mama's House 1 and 2. Bro. Yep. That's kind of loud, dude. It's crazy. So yeah, Big Mama's House. What's another one of your comfort Martin watches?
I mean, of course, the show. Outside the movie. Of course, the show.
Just like right now, there's Grapsody going on right now, I think. I mean, if when it's your birthday, you could do whatever you want, I think maybe.
Well, I don't know if he would appreciate the joke.
He wouldn't.
So I'll roll that one back. Roll that one back in the tuck. Put that one back in the pocket. That's cool. Why? It still sounds like I'm echoing. Is anybody else hearing that?
Is it just you? Is that anybody else? Turn that off.
Yeah.
That's loud.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm sorry. Was I making noise? I'm really sorry about that.
What is Will Washington doing here, you guys?
Yeah, I was trying to see if the chat also hears the echo.
I know where the echo is coming from. It's sorry, the game's gonna reset in a second.
See what kind of stuff we got to put up with, you guys. Hey, you guys, it's Will Washington. It's his birthday today. Say happy birthday to Will Washington.
If people didn't understand the bit that I did to open this show, it is the guy's birthday today. It is Will Washington's birthday. Throw those W's up in the chat. Send my guys some well wishes, some happy birthdays.
Big Dub. Get in here and say a couple words, Big Dub.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna make this stop making noise. Give me like 2 seconds.
Classic Double Dub.
Yeah. How's it going, everybody? I haven't appeared on Grapsody in a really long time. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, folks. I'll fix the echo in a second because I know exactly what's causing that. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's the old Grapsody faithful?
Look at the chat's like, happy birthday, you're so cool. This feels illegal.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
Listen, man.
There could be some consequences there. We don't know.
I was getting blocked.
What does that say? Happy 40th birthday. I will have you know, sir, I got 3 more years. This is big 37.
Will's actually the youngest of the gang, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's coming up for Phil, right? How old are you, Phil?
It's coming up. That reference in itself tells you how old I am.
I put Phil on that blast real quick. Everyone looking clean. Yeah, no. I went to the barbershop with Will Washington yesterday and watched him do his thing in a black barbershop. It was very cool. Very cool experience.
You think I'm lying about that? Like, what is?
You could be going to Supercuts and then making up that whole thing.
Bro, you don't have a black. They don't think there's a black barber in the entirety of Denver. Like
I'm saying, like, I didn't know. We're in Denver or Aurora, and I'm like,
I don't know if this is just a me thing, and it's also probably like a black thing. But every now and then, like, I have that moment where I'm like, man, I guess I should go in and like line my hair up and like actually give myself a haircut. And then like maybe like 20 minutes after I finish it, like, ooh. Kind of smoked that one, man. Kill him with that one.
you killing them with that.
Don't kill him with that one, bro.
What's on your birthday agenda, Will Washington?
Well, Nuggets play the Clippers at 3. And
Nuggets lost their home opener.
They did. I was extremely disappointed by that. But here's the thing. I know it's hard, right? Because I know the Thunder is a force to be reckoned with right now. I know that the Thunder is.
He's shooting bell to the Thunder, Phil.
Number 1 seed from last year.
Yeah, like I know the Thunder is going to be tough to deal with this year. And so I was hoping to win that first game. It was game 1 and it was at home. But I also recognize that the Thunder is still the youngest team. They are, right? I think they're the youngest set of starters in the NBA, right? Is that correct?
I mean, we got a bunch of young starters, so I don't know.
Somebody in the chat, correct me on that if I'm wrong. But the fact that they were, again, the number 1 seed in the West last year, I think they stand a huge chance at pulling that off again. They are incredible this year. Yeah, so we got the Clippers at 3. I was going to try and go to that game. I tried to use the old...
I don't know if you could do that one today.
He has there's like... I'm here. And he's like, I'm going to go to the game. I'm like, what do you mean?
Look, if I had gone, I would have gotten more than one ticket. Right?
Oh, okay. Then let's go. Get a ticket. What do you mean? I didn't know that was part of the plan.
I tried to use the old AEW hookup to pull that off, but this game is like completely sold out. So there was like nothing left.
Shout out to Denver.
But yeah, so that's on the agenda is watching some basketball. And then, I have myself a little birthday party. That my wife's throwing for me.
Oh, we can watch the game, and I can get drunk and do other adult things. It's gonna be fun.
I don't know if they drink at the Will Washington house.
I drink at the Will Washington house.
Hold on, there's no they. I don't.
No, just Will Washington doesn't drink at the Will Washington house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so if I bring through a bottle, it's cool then.
You better bring. Yeah, you better.
Okay.
Yeah. Expect it.
There's folks here.
He's the only one that doesn't partake.
I don't, but that.
Listen, man. Saturday, bro. I said it earlier. Come on, man. Double shot Hennessy.
You bringing one with you? Phil said he bringing one with him. That's crazy.
So yeah, Phil's coming through. Reg is here. Denise is here. This is a good number of folks. It's a good time.
Yeah. I'm gonna get very drunk tonight. It's gonna be great.
And also, lots of folks.
Why are you looking like that, Phil?
That just sounds crazy. A, getting drunk in Denver, and then B, getting drunk in Will Washington's house. Like,
I mean, there are levels to this.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's going to be great. And I'm going to encourage everyone that 8 p.m. Also be sure to check out a live edition of AEW Collision live.
Colliders.
Honestly, this is, obviously I'm at home, but this is the first edition of Collision I've missed in months. The first show I've missed in a very, very long time. I haven't missed a Dynamite since August 3rd, August 2nd of last year. Whenever Dynamite 200 was. That was the only show. It's the only Dynamite I haven't been at since I started with AEW. And then I've missed a number of collisions, but it's been a very long time since the last time I have. And so, but I got the day off, and I'm still going to be watching Collision. It's got a great card tonight. You are going to see Ricochet one-on-one with Lio Rush. Those two have not gone one-on-one since PWG in 2017. Mm-hmm. They had a tag match in 2019, I believe. I think it was Ricochet and Finn Balor versus
Can you say that?
Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. I think that was the last time I can recall those guys being in a ring together. So it's going to be really cool to see Lio Rush and Ricochet do their thing.
Will Facts, baby. They're back.
I seen a clip this morning. where it was like, yeah, Tony Khan and Will Washington, don't forget anything. And I was like,
I saw that clip too.
Very funny clip. Yeah. I thought so. Will, he didn't.
I thought it was pretty funny. I think a lot of things are funny.
I mean, look, I saw that clip, and like that's a true thing. That's one of the things that Tony and I have always bonded over is the fact that we remember stuff. I think that I'm curious what specifically that was referring to because I was like, didn't Dynamite this week have like 7 recap packages on it in the show that had 9 segments? But regardless, yeah, my memory is something I pride myself on. So that's something that, it's who I am and it's what I do. And that is never something I will ever hide or be ashamed of. But I tend, when I talk about memory, I tend to, I don't ever expect anybody to remember the things I remember. If anything, I like to bring these things up and as a reminder of, hey, do you remember this cool thing?
Right.
But no, I never expect anybody to remember things the way I do because if they did, then it wouldn't be one of my unique traits. So it's whatever.
Anybody could work at AEW if that's the case. Everybody remembers everything. I can't remember shit.
Oh shit! I see. Will, I miss you. Oh, I'm gonna bring this super chat up. I miss your R&B and Mariah talk. Oh, that's great.
I'm gonna bring.
Hold on, that's great because let me tell you. Hold on. So you're in the spot, right? You're where. You're where.
Phil, hurry up.
Yeah. So what we got here? So we don't talk about glitter often enough. All right. So glitter. Obviously was a not great movie, and of course it was marred by the fact that it came out the same day as Jay-Z's Blueprint, and it's just really hard it struggled to find its place. But what I really appreciate about glitter is that at some point
it's very hard to get off.
The Mariah fans eventually
it's very hard to get off. It's crazy.
Gave this album its due. And it had a number of great songs on it. I really want more people to appreciate glitter.
Saying glitter is hard to get off is spoken like a guy that has been to strip clubs.
I mean, listen.
Look at.
I had some crazy times in Las Vegas, Nevada, Philip Lindsey.
Listen, man. 2 days later, still trying to rub that booty glitter off, man. It's crazy.
Booty glitter.
That's great. I'm glad that glitter turned into a discussion on booty glitter.
Booty glitter. Look, booty glitter is crazy, though. Like, it gets in them crevices. I mean, obviously, it's booty glitter.
Butterfly. Amazing. But we got Charm Bracelet featuring this hat boy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Come on. We can do this all day. Look.
Let's see if anybody else saying anything about Will. Sparrow says, happy birthday, Will.
Thank you.
Tenruza, the homie, says, happy birthday, Will. First Beyonce, Kelly Rowland with Kamala, and now Will is back. What a day. Have a great day.
I saw that clip, by the way. That I'm glad it finally happened because I think that was the thing everybody was
waiting,
bro,
for so long.
Bro, Beyonce and Kelly coming out there like the president and first lady is really, really funny, man. Like
holding hands, pointing to people and shit.
That was really funny, man.
They came in like Dave at that one AEW presser. Bianca Leia says, cue up Mariah Carey and trap mixes. It's Will Washington.
Yeah. We got Rainbow.
All right.
Okay, E equals MC squared.
All right. Okay.
Featuring one of my favorite tracks, Side Effects, featuring Young Jeezy. It's a great album. Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel.
What?
The greatest album of all time, Emancipation of Mimi. She literally
greatest album of all time.
He said of all time.
Of all time.
All time. Yeah, I think that's where we have to intervene.
Yeah, no. Look,
what times are we talking about?
First off, like just the opening 4 tracks of this album, starting with It's Like That, then We Belong Together, then Shake It Off, then Mine Again, then Say Something, then Stay the Night. What comes after Stay the Night? Then
is it better than Thug Motivation? Yes or no?
Yes.
Nah.
Get Your Number featuring Jermaine Dupri.
Phil said nah.
It ain't that.
And it's not better than Thug Motivation. Like, if it's not better than Thug Motivation, that's where we have to start.
Hey, what was the #1 selling album of the year 2005?
Probably Thug Motivation. In the streets or on the charts?
Look, I'm just saying that was the year I graduated.
Triple
high
platinum
school.
in these streets.
And all
bro.
I know is at prom when We Belong Together came out, and everybody. So it was. Look, there's a video in existence.
We belong together.
There's a video in existence of it was me, it was Mercedes Monet, and it was Darius Martin, and We Belong Together came out. It was at the All In after party, and all of us were just belting that track. If you don't know We Belong Together, like what do you do? Everybody knows We Belong Together. You know we belong together. You know you're sitting there with that straight look on your face, Reg, but you know in the back of your mind you go, when you left I lost a part.
A lot of baddies like that song, Will. Yeah.
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 This one woman, I liked her a lot. Man, she was bad. Like, she walked down to Mariah Carey at her wedding. I think, no, her sister's wedding. But then she turned her life over to the Lord, so.
It was probably because of the track. There's a track on this album called Fly Like a Bird.
That was it.
Yeah, and I could see that.
Now she be singing at church and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, I could see that converting anybody, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. Still fine, though.
What else we got? What are the other super chats?
Leonard Aarons III says, happy birthday, Will. We got the gang back.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard because I talk to you guys so often that it's like, in my head, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Everybody's like, a year? Yeah. We talk every single day, you guys. There's not one day that goes by where I don't hear from my boys. I think that's it for Will. So, like, get out.
Yeah, I will leave you guys to talk about wrestling because, you know.
We got wrestling to talk about other places that you can't be here.
Today is my day off, and where's Phil?
Oh, Phil's out. There you go. He's out of the pod.
All right, I mean, I can talk about
it.
I think I can talk about wrestling. We got Dynamite every Wednesday.
All right.
We got Rampage every Friday, 10 p.m.
For how much longer? If you want to be here, we can get into it.
If you got Collision every. You got Collision every Saturday, 8 p.m. TNT. WatchROH.com. Sign up for Honor Club, and you can get new episodes of Ring of Honor.
Cool World Champion.
Cool World Champion.
Yeah.
No, really, I like Chris Jericho. I love the Learning Tree. Will Washington, you guys, happy birthday. Tonight, it's going to be all right. Saturday night's all right for a fight. There'll be no fighting. It'll be nothing but fun. But
I don't have a Mariah album near me, but classic album.
Well,
Linkin Park,
that's
Meteor.
where Phil was going.
Bro.
Phil was going to find him one. That's definitely better than
classic album. Linkin Park, Meteor, man.
That's-
Meteor was nice, but I bought Hybrid Theory twice.
Yes. I'm putting Meteor and then maybe Meteor, Thug Motivation, Emancipation.
You're just taking our 3 albums and you're like, I'm going to rank Will last because he left our show a year and a half ago.
Hold on. We might have a Humper chat for you. Somebody saying check the Humpers.
The Humper Chats. I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Humper
Let's see. From Van Twinblade, he says, holy shit, Bill Bashington. It's Rocky Horror Night. Also, I know you plugged the Discord, Reg, but you got to put the link in the description. Phil, don't read this part. Send it to Reg, and he's got a link here.
Phil, don't read this part.
Proceeds to read.
Phil, don't read this part. And also, I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to read that part.
Listen, you gave me money to read this out loud, and I'm doing what you paid me to do. What do you mean, don't read this part? Like, what?
Are there any other humpies for our brother? He'll read anything on the teleprompter.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see any more for Will. If there are, feel free to let me know that I missed it.
If there are, hey, Will. I won't do that.
See, what I want is like a wrestler who will read anything you put in a promo, and where it's like they come out and they're like, notes for audience, turn to hard cam. You're like, damn it, did you forget to put that in italics?
Yeah. Minimal is saying, when are you going to fix the echo?
Oh, yeah, fix the echo.
As soon as I'm done talking. The echo's coming because Phil's coming out of my speakers and not just the headphones. So as soon as I unplug the speakers, echo's gone. That's the reason you're only hearing Phil echo.
Yeah. You got another super chat for Will.
I see that right there.
Oh, it's Tenruza. Will you pump for the K-Dot Super Bowl?
Of course.
I'm
I'm not pumped for K-Dot Super Bowl discourse.
I'm over it already.
I'm already over that. Yeah.
Do you think he's going to bring out Wayne, the question of the century?
Of course he
Absolutely
is.
not.
He's definitely gonna bring out Wayne.
No, Will doesn't think he's going to. How
absolutely-
come?
No.
He's
Why?
definitely coming out.
It's New Orleans.
Okay. So I'm of a couple of schools of thought on this. One, like the argument was, why is Wayne not the headline act?
That's a dumb argument, for
Right.
sure.
The argument wasn't why is Wayne not a part of the show. I think everybody wanted Wayne to be the headline act. With Wayne being so intrinsically tied to Drake's career, I don't even see why the request would be made without that looking some type of way
But that's why K-Dot is gonna do it.
That's why he's going to do it.
But
Hater
would
move.
Wayne want to do it? Would Wayne want to not be the headline
In his hometown, bro.
You saw that video, him crying on the video, being like, I'm so sad I didn't get it.
But again, he wasn't saying I'm so sad that somebody didn't bring me out. He's like, I'm so sad I didn't get the headline spot. Would Wayne take being brought out as a guest with Drake's greatest rival right now? I don't
Yes.
think he would.
The Super Bowl?
Yes, he would.
I don't think so.
I think on
he
the
would.
Super Bowl, he's getting that look.
I think he would. Also, shout out to LL. He was on the Fat Joe show, and Fat Joe asked him about it, and he said, "Now this is funny because this is like a champagne problem. He's one of the first rappers that I've seen say that this isn't a real problem. As much as this guy's been blessed, there are guys that you can't even get their demo played. You can't even get like your music in the door." Out of everything that Wayne has done in his career, and you're still talking about not getting a Super Bowl, like
Like
he's
a lot
right.
of
This is
people
the
say
first
that
world problem.
A lot of people say that he's the best rapper of all time, and he's like, the Super Bowl. And like, I think you already, like, the Super Bowl is nothing. You already did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Wayne. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, we'll pull this clip up in 3 months.
I think he'll be out there.
I don't think
he's
he will.
coming out.
And like I said, I think it creates a bigger problem if he does it. That's the thing. That's the thing I'd be worried about is all of a sudden, what does that alliance suddenly look like?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Drake starts taking sneak disses at Wayne all of a sudden.
No.
And
I mean,
but again,
sneakier than fucked on Wayne's girl that was conniving.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna get my lick back if I'm Wayne. Like, I'm on TV
Like, I
with
don't know,
y'all.
dog.
It's so messy.
it is. It's extremely messy. I don't see it happening. I think that I don't know. It is New Orleans, but like
Oh, New Orleans.
it is.
Wayne,
It is.
Wayne
They
will
like
be
to
out there. I
pander.
think.
I mean, they could
I would
bring out
absolutely.
Master P instead, right?
I mean, look, you know what? That's honestly, if I wanted to go for like, if I wanted to go for like a cheap pop, and I knew Wayne wasn't an option, I would bring out Juvie and Fresh. I would bring out.
Bro, I think that's rubbing the salt in. If you do that and then bring out Juvie and don't bring out Wayne, that's crazy.
That is rubbing the salt in. Huh?
Yeah.
Doing Han the 2025 Super Bowl would be crazy.
Nah, bro.
I mean,
if
look,
back
when you
back
look
that
at, like,
thing
the
up would go
resurgence
crazy
in
though.
Back that thing up. Doom,
No, but if you do look at the resurgence in the last like 5 years that Back That Ass Up has had, where like it has become
it's a phenomenon.
it is a phenomenon. The way that like when, especially last year when he did the Tiny Desk, and you watched how much that exploded for Juvie, and then they just did another video on YouTube that's got a few million views of Manny Fresh and Juvie doing it. But you know who's not around for any of this resurgence of Back That Ass Up? Wayne, who has the last verse on that song. So like, I don't know. Right now
man.
with the song having the popularity it has again, I could absolutely see them using that at the Super Bowl.
He should bring out Juvie.
But
though.
bro,
Yeah.
bringing out Juvie and then like you thinking he's just gonna bring out Juvie and then all of a sudden you hear and after you back it up then stop and why drop it like it's hot, bro. That would go crazy.
Listen, either option, I think I'm in.
Honestly, you know what though? Shout out Manny Fresh, by the way. I have to say,
Manny.
What I respect about Manny Fresh is how much. This is one of those things I could only say on Grapsody because this is like one of those points I've been trying to make publicly for a long time.
Everybody's
but
like,
I'm
what are you saying?
If I posted this on social media, people would be like, "Book this match on AEW," and I'm like, I'm trying to talk about Juvenile and Manny Fresh. So I want to get this point out on Grapsody, but the Manny Fresh is like one of the only people I've ever seen to like truly embrace like the censored version of a song. And what I mean is, ever since Back That Thing Up came out, Manny Fresh has like officially adopted the censored version of that of his verse as the main version of the verse. No matter what he does, whenever he performs it live, you know, I think he just in his head it's like, you know what? It sounds better if I say use a big fine hit girl, quit it girl. I'm that brother, the brother, the
hit it girl.
Like,
Come
right?
on, bro.
Like it's,
Yeah. No, I like the edited version better.
like honestly, yeah. When he's like, I beat the chick like a drum a chick, right? Like you can tell he like.
Like a brrr is better than with the regular lyric.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people know what he actually says.
Right.
Like honestly, it's amazing how much the world like embraced the censor version of that song. Like everybody knows Cash Money Records taking over for the 9-9 in the 2000, but that's not on the album version. That's from the single.
Can't get in the weeds like this unless it's Grapsody, baby.
I know. I love
Come
it.
on.
So,
Look, this is-
Manny Fresh, baby.
Yes. Shout out Manny Fresh. Love Manny Fresh.
Okay, yeah.
What
Now
is
get
it?
out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here. Leave.
I missed this. What is the chat talking about? I don't have to go anywhere right now.
You can't be on Grapsody. This is my show. Now, what y'all saying? Everybody's like, I don't know what song that is.
Nobody would say that.
Oh, do we get? I don't think they're gonna do Not Like Us.
Yes, they would.
They
That's
can.
yes, they
why.
are. Yes,
think
they
they're
are.
gonna do it?
That's the only.
They are
reason
going to
he's
come out there with a marching band. Are you serious? Yes, they are. Even if they just do the hook, we're getting Not Like Us on that stage. It's the biggest song in the world. Like what?
Okay, just the hook. I don't. But like some of the verses,
But
like
that-
you can't say that on the Super Bowl.
But that's exactly.
you can't say
We
that.
are definitely getting Not Like Us, bro.
But that's the reason why Wayne being a part of this sounds absurd. That like, if he came out, if he did even a quarter of Not Like Us, and Wayne is on the stage at any point,
Right?
like,
You can't be a part of that. Like in that sequence, Wayne's
Yo.
here and we're doing Not Like Us.
you know how crazy that would sound, though. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Young Money.
See, we're crossing lines if we're doing that though. Like he's saying, Drake, what's up? If you're any part of it, I hear what you're saying, Will.
yeah, no, that's why I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't like.
But I don't know if Wayne cares about that.
Like
though.
he literally
I don't
got
think he does.
invited
Right?
because of the success of Not Like Us. Like that's the big thing right now is that like obviously Kendrick's one of the biggest stars in the world, but like the fact that Not Like Us performed the way it did, that is the reason he was at the top of the list for artists to bring to the Super Bowl. So it's like a song you expect to
He's
hear.
definitely
As a matter
doing
of
Not
fact,
Like
But
Us.
you
know-
can't say that
I
on
know,
the Super
but
Bowl.
you know the audience. The second you hear, psst, like you don't need anything else. The second you hear that, the audience is gonna go nuts.
Mustard
Like,
on the
there's
beat,
one-
ho
there's-
is the first lyric. You
if
can't
there's-
even say
If
that.
there's one thing that I do know, it is audience
It's fine.
reactions.
It'll be
and,
fine.
Like you want the pop, you know you're gonna or exactly how you're gonna get it, and so that hits. But again, you can't have that song play and have Wayne. Like it's not gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But run this clip back if that's the case. If he actually shows up at the Super Bowl, I will bring a skillet right here. I will have some crow and I will literally eat it on the air.
What, like an actual crow, like the bird?
We have them here in Colorado. It's illegal to kill them, but we do have crows like all over the place. So I'll eat some crow.
Yeah, listen, it'll be fine. We're gonna get both of these things. I think we're getting Not Like Us, and I do think we're gonna see Wayne. Probably not at the same time, but
I won't be surprised. It's going to be some New Orleans representation, and it has to be Wayne, right?
yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Well, either way, you guys get to talking about. Hey, Tina. Shout out, Tina. Man, I don't want to leave, but I know I have to.
Tina saying super late and tuning in. Quite the week in wrestling. Sending loves and hugs to everyone. Happy birthday to Will. Enjoy your day.
I'm going to enjoy my day. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a birthday on a Saturday in a very long time.
It's your birthday.
And yeah, I am going to enjoy it. This is going to be a good time. Shout out Mortal Kombat 2, by the way. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. I won't play it again. But,
No.
I'll switch the game out to something else right now. Well, I want to see back here. What's the world going to be? You know what I'm going to do? Know exactly what I'm going to do.
You got a birthday cake? What's y'all birthday cake? Like, because Will Washington and I are thinking in the same boat of carrot cake.
Yeah,
fans.
we're both carrot cake guys.
Mm-hmm. What's yours, Phil?
What, Phil, why? I saw your facial reaction
I don't like
to carrot
that.
cake. I didn't like that
that
at all. What, Phil, you're not a carrot cake
What's
guy?
up with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with carrot cake, but on your birthday?
Yes!
I'm the oldest person on this podcast. Y'all eating carrot cake on your birthday?
And it's for a long, like 20 years. I'm like, carrot cake. My mom was always like, what? I'm like, yo, that's what I like.
It's a big part of like having a fall birthday for me is that like it's a fall flavor. Like it's carrot cake. Like that's
Like, I don't eat it throughout the year, so I eat it on my birthday.
Yep.
You know, it's like a thing.
my wife's making me a carrot cake right now. I see ice cream cake being brought up a bunch in the chat.
Ice cream cake.
I see people saying they don't like carrots.
Y'all are children.
Carrot cake. Is it the old Kevin from The Office? This cake has vegetables in it.
It's an acquired taste for sure.
I don't understand because like I acquired that taste at a very young age apparently because I've been eating carrot cake forever.
What's yours, Phil?
I don't know if I had one. My mom used to get me a rainbow cake every year for my birthday.
day?
I don't know. I mean, every year for my
gonna say
birthday.
that.
If y'all don't know if y'all know what a rainbow cake is, that's the layer with the strawberry and then bananas and it's chocolate.
It's a special cake.
Yeah,
You don't get that every day.
See, somebody mentioned Tres Leches. I do like Tres Leches, but when you're married to somebody who's lactose intolerant, and you're literally doing a cake that translates to 3 milk, that's
1 milk is enough.
yeah, it's not exactly gonna work out for the insides.
3 milks.
Three milks is what Tyrese Halliburton was doing in that room, bro.
That's crazy. That's insane. Bro had his arms out there. 3
Bro.
milks, dog.
That clip was so funny to me. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Dog, it's crazy outside. You got an umbrella now, Joseph Molina says. Will Washington, that's for you.
Oh, is this a reference to something?
I don't know.
Is this a reference I don't understand?
Do you have an umbrella, yes or no? I don't know.
Is that a reference to Ask Grapsody when we talked about it on there?
What was it? I forgot already.
Remember, because I was like, my friend was like, oh, you got an umbrella? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, it's not
that's
manly.
crazy,
It's not manly to have a umbrella. It's manly to just be wet. Like, what?
It's like when your friends dish you for like, oh, you're wearing a jacket? And
You
it's
got
like,
an
"Dog, it's
umbrella?"
cold." Look at him having a job. Like, yeah, I'm trying to get paid, big dog.
I actually had to respond to somebody. I posted the picture of my new kitchen yesterday, and
Nice kitch.
and some guy responded to it. He's like, "You didn't pay for that kitchen. Tony Khan paid for that kitchen." I'm like, "Do you know how employment works? Like that's
You
not
didn't
how
pay
this
for
works."
that kitchen. Tony Khan paid for that kitchen. It's a wild thing to send somebody. You didn't pay for that kitchen. Tony Khan paid for that kitchen.
I was legit like, that's not how employment
Not
works.
how this works.
Like,
It's
I don't
not how
get-
this works.
It's like I get paid in money. I don't get
Yeah.
paid in kitchens. Like this isn't
Right.
how this works. I can use money to buy kitchens. I can use money to buy lots of things. Like
Now,
Mariah-
you're like my
like
my
Mariah
September
Carey.
salary. I need that to be an oven, a roof, fridge.
like,
Tony Khan bought this.
Like, do you walk
Yo.
in McDonald's and be like, I paid for everything that you have? Like, how does that work? Like,
That's how Ray Kroc goes in. He's like, "This is mine, all mine." He might be dead. Nice kitch though.
Yeah, thank you. Reg has seen the kitchen in person.
It needed to be higher. I don't know how you were using that old kitch with the like. You were
With
ducking
the-
down
with-
when you were
with-
in there.
with the soffit. Yeah. That was the first
Yeah.
thing I knocked out. Was I got to use a sledgehammer and destroy it. It was
Like Cody Rhodes.
yes, from Double or Nothing 2019. A very unique moment that wasn't in reference to anything at all.
That's it.
All right,
now.
y'all.
See,
You
he's
guys
like, see you
have
later.
a great show.
Appreciate
Enjoy
you, Will.
talking about professional wrestling because it's the greatest form of entertainment on earth.
AEW. AEW.
Yeah,
is out.
as another famous person that was also born today said, you didn't pay for my house, motherfucker. I paid for my house.
Go ahead and put it
Another famous birthday guy today. It's a good birthday day today, Phil.
Yeah, good day for representatives from certain cultures.
What a fun time. Will Washington on Grapsody. It felt good. It felt right. It felt like old times.
Yeah.
I haven't woke up on a Saturday and talked to Will and Phil in how many? A year and change?
Yeah. Speaking of, how crazy is it? I think about all the time the amount of situations where I can think of a quote from the Art of Wrestling podcast that I'll throw into something. I just think of references from there all the time. Like every now and then I'll just think of him doing the Vince impression of, Phil, somebody's going to die.
That was very controversial. That's probably why. That changed a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, send us in some more of your super chats. Appreciate you guys sending the well wishes to former QB number 1 of this podcast. And let us know what else you want to get into in the super chats and humper chats.
Yes, sir. Let's get into a couple more of these super chats. Bragov says, Happy Grapster Day. Nice background. Missed the old Will Washington arcade gaming machine background on Grapsody. Happy birthday, double dub. Bragov also says, Grapsody Discord got paywall thing. I want to join. No, I'll send you the link, Bragov. Sparrow said, we already did that one. Hops88 says, Juliet in the house, bear down, see red, screw punk. Whoa, that was a lot in there.
You said Joliet in the house. It is a suburb
Joliet.
of the city of Chicago. It is outside of the city. It's Illinois, but it's not Chicago.
Mm-hmm. It's Illinois, but it's not Chicago.
It's definitely not Chicago.
Our homie Aaron Busby says, since y'all talking about Martin, I've been watching My Wife and Kids. In y'all opinion, who did Tisha Campbell have more chemistry with, Martin Lawrence or Damon Wayans? Happy birthday, Will. This was a Will Washington question. He could have stayed for this one, too.
I kind of feel like it's unfair in some ways because I think that she got much better, not just as an actress, but as a comedic actress. Yep. And so I think a lot of her stuff with Damon is better because she's just more seasoned at doing like comedy by the time she does My Wife and Kids.
Exactly. It felt like she got more room to kind of stretch her comedic legs, like you're saying. Like Martin was like kind of about establishing Martin, getting his bits off, him doing the different characters. My Wife and Kids felt more like Damon and Tisha playing off of each other to create the show. So yeah, it's unfair because like you said, she's just growing and becoming a better actress. But like I feel like the My Wife and Kids Tisha is better than, Gina.
Yeah. And I mean, I think part of the reason that she was better on My Wife and Kids is everything she learned while doing Martin. So.
Exactly. You can't get one without the other, pretty much.
Yeah.
Tenruza said, my bad, guys. Sorry for starting this. Will Washington being Will Washington. And then Sam Muscle says, lemon pepper cake or nada? Lemon pepper cake?
No, I'm good on whatever that is.
I'm gonna go with the nada, I think, because that's crazy.
I don't know what that is,
dog. A cake made of lemon pepper wings, maybe. I might be in there. No, all lemon pepper wings.
I'm still passing on that. Cake made of lemon pepper wings sounds crazy.
Well, no, it's not any cake in there. It's just it looks like a cake, but it's just lemon pepper wings.
Yeah.
Interested or not? Interested or not?
Yeah,
that's all of our super chats for now. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are dope.
I think it's a no for me, my brother.
No, my brother, you gonna have to.
It's
get
a no for me, my brother.
What's that he put on in the background? It's making me dizzy. Yeah.
Let's see, Tony P with some humper chats here. If you want to send in some humper chats as well, humperchats.com/Fightful. He says this was surprising week for the world of grifting. Short boy NY is catching shit from his own people. Elon may be catching a case if Harris wins. Charlemagne and Stephen A. Smith, of all people, defending Harris. Joe Rogan may have realized Trump is insane. Yeah, some of that stuff I have no intention of watching. Yeah, it's
it was some nasty stuff going on yesterday. It looks like
it was definitely some stuff going on, bro. Yeah, I love after our podcast last week, and I saw this thing, and I was like, wait a minute, that sounds illegal. And the people were like, oh, you idiot, it's not illegal. Almost a week later, Adjustment Department's like, that looks a little illegal, but
it's gotta be legal, I think.
No.
I kind of feel what Phil was saying because this looks crazy.
Yeah, this
But
looks
I
a little
think
crazy.
at this point, it's like, bro can do whatever he wants, right? Like, like you guys are telling me that bro can do whatever he wants. So
All I know is if I do something illegal, I don't get a warning. Hey, buddy, this is illegal, just so you know. No, there's no warnings.
bro, if I jaywalked right now, I'm getting hit in the head with the fucking baton, you know?
Yeah. Let's see, more from Tony P. He said, like, who uses credit cards to help hitmen and try to escape to Italy? Who had a extradition treaty with the U.S.? Then the other is trying to box with a god and gave himself a green light if he steps foot in Detroit. Yeah, Jericho, buddy. I'm sorry, I missed the chat before that. He says, white man once again is outed for pretending to be black online. Yeah, that account, which can't say that I'm shocked.
What happened?
Yeah, there's a like a Black Anarchy or something like that account, and turns out the guy that runs it is in fact not black. But yeah, he says also after FBI raided his home because he did millions in tax fraud. This is just grifting side of things. Then we got little boys are being dumbasses. Yeah, and that leads into the other chat that I read before this, where he's saying who uses a credit card to help hitmen. Yeah, man. Again, the Dirk stuff is very, very sad. I hope. I don't know. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, "This doesn't look good." Then I saw some of the details on it. It sounds like he
his
had
little coordination. He tried to buy a plane ticket for over here, but he was going to try to trick him and go over there and catch him. Like, you've been watching too many movies, I think, big dog.
Sounds like he had a rat in his circle, and yeah, it's wild. That waking up to that first thing in the morning of Dirk getting arrested, and this was like a week after he just accepted the key to like the village of some village here in Illinois. It wasn't Chicago, but yeah.
This is another one of those rappers talking on their records and evidence and how far that's going to continue to go in these days. And I'm like, it's getting bad.
That clip from 2 years ago of Wallow getting really emotional and telling him like, you can let this go. Like, I had to let some things go. I wouldn't have been here talking to you. I wouldn't have been hosting this show. Right. I wouldn't have been able to do so many great things if I didn't let this go. And 2 years later, don't seem like he listened to him.
And everybody's trying to make bits off of Wallow. Like every time Wallow talks about, I'm like, dog, he's trying to help these people, and he's right so many times. He was there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was right. This was just like when that clip of Joe Budden resurfaced of him telling academics, "Yo, stay away from that dude." Yeah. And don't want either of these guys to be right about these things, but sometimes it's all right to listen to OGs when they're trying to give you some game. I don't know.
Right.
More from Tony P says, on top of my heat, still hasn't learned how to score or defend in the fucking third quarter. But hey, congrats to Spike, LeVar, Queen, and Missy on their Humanities Medal, Tribe induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and a Liberty's first chip. Yeah, I forgot about that. I did watch that induction speech from Tribe. I was sitting like, man, how far we've come that these guys are being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Q-Tip was being Q-Tip. He took most of the speech up, which is a very Q-Tip thing to do.
It's only fitting at this point.
Even everything that he was dropping, like him dropping the knowledge of like jazz artists and rappers are just people that are singing the blues, and what's more blues than rock and roll? And I love that he tied that together, because there's so many people like, why are you putting this rapper in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because that's our music too. Like, I hate to break it to y'all, but it is.
Exactly. No matter how you lay it out, if it's rock and roll, if it's blues, if it's anything, it's ours. It feels like you said, years, and thinking about the time and thinking about what Tribe represents. It's one of those, like, they should have been in fucking 30 years ago. Like, what's going on? They, like, revolutionized the fucking hip-hop business. But regardless of that, the whole Chappelle introducing him, Tip being like, he's so, throughout documentaries and throughout the years, he's like, I didn't want to be the I didn't want to be the front man of Tribe Called Quest. I didn't want to be that guy. And I'm like, are you sure, Tip? Like, I love Tip. He's my favorite producer.
It's about the unit first, man.
I'm saying, like,
that's what you say. It's about the unit first.
Every time he does something, I'm like, they made you the front guy for a reason. You know what I mean? But like, Tribe's my favorite hip hop group of all time. I'm very happy that they are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. They're the greatest. It's Tribe.
Yeah. I also just think a lot of things about Tribe's correlation to us in general is very funny. We're both big Tribe fans, and like I think other guy that used to lead this podcast has a lot in common with Tip in some ways, and it's funny. And the way that like Ali Shaheed will be like sitting in the corner watching him and Fife argue is very similar to things that you do. It's very funny. But yeah, man, just so dope to see them on that stage. So dope to see like them in good health. Good to see Jerobi out and about.
Jerobi the chef, I love it.
Tip up there still with a full head of hair, crispy hairline, full head of dreads. Man,
it's
love
like
to see
when I went to the Locks concert a few weeks ago, and Jadakiss has like a full head of hair, nice hairline. I'm like, dog, you were bald in 1998. What happened here?
Yeah, but yeah, salute to Tribe. Salute to Dionne Warwick. I think she was also inducted. I don't remember everybody else but man, those are two like big legends. I think Peter Frampton was another one that was inducted. Salute to him. Salute to Flavor Flav being out about that video of him rapping with Tip and Jerobi in the hallway. It's culture, man. That's culture right there.
Flavor Flav saved Red Lobster. Did you know, Phil?
I did not know that, but that fits with all of the misadventures of Flavor Flav. So
yeah, they started putting out all these articles and things like Red Lobster's bankrupt. Red Lobster's this. Bro started going to Red Lobster every single day, Phil, and he would post it online. He'd be like, "Out here at Red Lobster, pull up. I love the ultimate feast." And like he did this shit for like 2 months straight, and then like they did another like Red Lobster's out of bankruptcy. We're actually good. I was like, "Yo, Flavor Flav saved Red Lobster. This is crazy."
They didn't give him a commercial or nothing after that?
Nah, they were just like, "Hey, thanks, bro. We love Public Enemy."
He should have. They should have gave him the commercial with like the stereotypical Red Lobster commercial with like the ice and everything, and like the lobster cracking and like the spritz of lemon spraying across the screen, and
the butter splashing up out of the little thing.
It just cuts to Flavor Flav like, yeah, boy, Red Lobster, the seafood lover in you, yeah.
The seafood lover in you is hella funny, but they got to though. He saved them, Phil. He saved them.
Shout out to Mary J. I saw she's also got inducted this year.
Oh, Mary J. Dog.
Absolute legend. Man, also, salute to the New York Liberty. Long time coming for that basketball team and them trying to get in there. Shout out to Sabrina. If you guys did not see that text that I put online of him being like, yeah, why you pick Minnesota? I'm like, why you ain't pick Minnesota? New York losing. I was like, I think New York gonna lose. We win, Dad. He's like, nah, man, I think they losing. I said, all right.
You want to try to
that last one, I was like, yeah, what's going on? Didn't respond at all.
No, he ain't trying to hear that. You went to breakfast with him today?
Didn't think that was funny at all. Went straight to bed after the game.
Turn all this shit off.
Turn it off. I'm not watching any of these ceremonies, nothing. Cut the TV off and got right in bed.
I love an angry black parent that just start cutting everything up like, dog, it's 7:30.
Yeah, I did see him. I did see him this morning.
Did you get on him about it? Or you let him?
Very funny guy. No, I let him go on this one because I knew he. But he didn't respond to
already.
When he didn't respond to that text, I was like, oh yeah, he's feeling it, man. But yeah, shout out to Sabrina. Didn't have a great game 4, but boy, that shot she hit, man, in game 3. Very Steph-esque. That's one of those that adds to my PowerPoint that I'm gonna put out one day of like, listen, man, this guy and how influential he was on this generation, man.
People don't understand, dog. Like, there's a generations, men, women, all that are like inspired by these threes, inspired by this. I like to think there's these conspiracies on like, because earlier this year somebody was like, oh, New York teams are gonna come up this year, and I was all, that's just a conspiracy. But like Liberty won, Yankees are in the World Series. Like, I mean, it's looking a little suspicious. I watched the end of the World Series game last night. They ended with the first ever walk-off grand slam. Pretty amazing stuff out there. LA, they had like 4 very major sports going on yesterday. So anybody that was in LA traffic last night, love out to you. Must have been horrible.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, let's see. More from Tony P. He says, so Mox, you slimy bastard. I see where Yuta gets it from now. I want to give you Petty of the Week, but someone else special deserves it. And hear me out. He said, mans who made 10 full-length AEW hate videos in one day crashed out because his wife got on them like it's funny, sad, and pitiful and petty. Now, if y'all don't like that, please feel free to pick one of this week's winners. I mean, 10 videos of hate videos is a level. Yeah,
What is
I don't
this?
even know exactly what you're talking about, but
I'm like, what are we talking about?
I saw people tweeting about it, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is, bro.
Yeah, that was one of the, I saw 10 tweets, blah, 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 AEW, and I was like, oh, they're dunking on this. I'm out. Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, a lot of this week was pretty nasty.
Yeah, we got
Up and down.
we got a lot of newsworthy stuff going on with WWE, and yeah, Rolling Stones put out a lot of information within a week. We got
the Rolling Stones in the wrestling business with how many articles they putting out, Phil? They going in.
throwing a hat in the ring, I guess, man. But yeah, they put out that article about the writers. They had 5 writers interviewed for this, and it was very very eye opening in some ways. Then we also got the Rolling Stone article from David Bixenspan where he covered the Mel Phillips stuff and the Ring
Disturbing
Boys
stuff.
lawsuit. The stuff that's currently come out about the Ring Boys lawsuit is not great. And oof.
Disturbing, like reading the article and the stuff that they get into, I'm like, oh my God, like, and the implications, and we've heard stories over the years, and all of this just kind of connecting is weird. Vince and Linda being named directly in the lawsuit this time is like,
yeah, this was the first because there have been a few lawsuits that have come out of Ring Boys controversy, but this is the first time that Vince and Linda have been named in it. I believe these are 5 new John Does that came forward.
yep.
Yeah, very grim stuff. Hopefully those men get restitution. They get justice for this, as much justice you can get at this point. Yeah, speaking of restitution and justice, shout out to those 2 poll workers that are getting all of the settlement that they deserve from Rudy Giuliani. Man, listen, I'm fully a fan of it. I saw somebody saying, like, this might not be okay. I was like, nah. Pick that man up by his ankles, shank every coin out.
Everything.
every cent.
This penthouse, this is mine now, dog. Move, get your shit and move out. Actually, leave your shit. I want your shit too.
Brother. You know how, man, that couldn't have been me if I won that lawsuit, boy. I would
Dog.
You talked about Tony would have been on here like, nah, Petty of the Week by far. I'd have been sitting in his
Straight up.
bathroom, wearing his bathrobe, smoking a cigar like,
Yes.
yeah, man. Wearing his Yankees ring. So I'd be
His
like, nah,
slippers,
what up, bro?
nah, all that. Like, keep your stuff in here. I'm about to sit on your couch. Like, nah. Well deserved for a very terrible human, Rudy Giuliani. Well deserved, bro. What a
Yeah,
crazy
very
time
wild to
of,
see that his
of lawsuits and things happening, like kind of on this WWE thing. Like, Phil, these articles came out, and it's like every 3 days the worst thing you ever heard in your life will come out about WWE. But then it's like SmackDown and Raw, and it's hard to like just be like everything's normal. You know what I mean?
It's wild because just one of these things happening at once, like if this was just the Janelle Grant lawsuit, if it was just one of these things, this would have taken a smaller promotion down. This would have put them out of business. Yeah. They've got like 3 different things happening at once, and they're just still moving on with business. Like, it's all right.
They're like, we're going to Saudi Arabia. I'm like, dude, it's like business as usual. Like, you're supposed to, but it's wild. You know what I mean?
It looks-
Every 3
it looks
days they're
crazy.
like, here's the craziest thing you ever heard in your life, and they're in trial. All these crazy like things are happening. It's like, what new? Well, like we keep hearing these horrible things. It's like it's crazy that it went on for so long, but like, is it gonna come to an end? Are we gonna stop this guy? Because like this is damning evidence.
Yeah. Like we said, the fact that Vince and Linda were named in a lawsuit this time. I believe WWE was also named in a lawsuit.
TKO
Very,
too.
yeah, very, very damning. I still think like when the Mr. McMahon documentary came out and they covered the Ring Boy stuff in there, and they did not cover the fact that Mel was fired and then brought back. And that just adds such a nasty layer to it. Like, ugh.
That's what was the sickest thing about the article. No, there's a lot of sick stuff, but one of the sick things in Bix's article is like they were like, oh, they brought him back with and told him, don't be around kids, don't hang around kids, stay. I'm like, dog,
Bro.
you brought him back with provisions to just stay away from kids. What?
And yeah, just the idea that they fired him knowing what he was doing and then brought him back, and he came back.
Just
and was
like, oh no,
still-
just stay away from over there. As long as you're over here, it's cool. Like,
yeah, and he was still doing it when he came back. Like, oof.
sad stuff. I hope that the people in the case get some restitution, and I'm sure there's more. That's the sickest part. You know what I mean? These are 5, like we've heard about names for the last 30 years, and these are 5 new ones. Who knows how many more there are?
Yeah,
Sick stuff.
yeah, very, very nasty. See more from Tony P. Says, now do you think Yuta hurt last week when we joked about him taking shit from Brian? Because for sure did the Brian interest pose on the top of the rope in the trios last Saturday. He absolutely did. And I do think that all of that is very intentional.
Yes. The outfits, everything that's connected to it. He's definitely taunting Bryan Danielson. It's fun.
Yeah, I think this is, I think it's very smart. I think what they're doing is great. Got some more Humper chats as well. Sorry, I was just trying to pull up something on my phone. I had it in front of me.
Pull up. What a Saturday. What an interesting change of scenery for me.
Yeah. A guy that is not a big video game player, from my understanding, just being in this big arcade full of video games is very funny.
I watched some guy play Sonic for like 4 straight hours yesterday. I did see Big Bill hit a running shooting star press on the trampoline, though. That was dope. Shout out to Big Bill. Washington.
Oh, not the tall New Yorker.
No. Big Bill, Washington. Running shooter.
Yeah.
Cold stuff.
We got another one from Tony P. He says, as for wrestling this week, only MLP moved me. They were balling hard both nights. The Speedball Kanosuke match over-delivered. Giselle showed out with Athena. Yeah, I thought the Maple Leaf Pro, they had a very good debut last Saturday night. They did 2 nights starting on the 19th and the 20th. And I thought both shows were good. I thought that they gave us one of the matches of the year, like Tony said, in Kanosuke versus Speedball. And I just think all around it was just a fun night of wrestling.
I have a question for you, Philip Lindsey. How do you feel about Mauro Ranallo as a commentator?
I was very excited to see he was a part of this, and when the show started and he was doing commentary, I was like, man, I miss Mauro doing wrestling. I hope this is a sign that he's going to be coming back and doing more wrestling. Hopefully he does more with Maple Leaf, and maybe this leads to him doing more with somebody else, because, man, I think he's great at wrestling commentary.
Yeah, dude, it just, like hearing him on top of those matches, like it feels refreshing. Like Moro brings like people get on him about like his bits and the stuff that he does, but like when it comes down to being excited and selling a fucking wrestling match, there's not a lot of people that do it like Moro. Like genuinely into every angle, genuinely into the action going on, can explain it like no one else, does boxing, does MMA. Like he's just such a, like when they try to bring in a sports guy from the outside and it's like, yeah, they like wrestling and they probably, you know, they're going to fit in, but like Moro like loves wrestling, been around for years and years. Like he just gets it. He's so good. I'd love to see him in other places.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought that this was fun. I saw people calling it basically Canadian TNA, which I yeah, TNA. What's this wrestling all about? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's like a
wasn't far off.
I don't think it's a bad comparison, but I think for what it was, I thought that it was a lot of fun. Yeah. We got a great assortment of talent, seeing LP and Alex Zane and a bunch of other guys mixed up on the same card. Mm-hmm.
That's what's fun about it. It's a bunch of different pros. You got AEW, you got New Japan representation, you got Impact representation or TNA representation.
Yeah, it's always fun to see Kylie Ray. Still looks great. Still is wrestling very well.
Kylie Ray also, a side note, just became the freelance world champion last night.
Shout out to
Kylie Ray.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought the first night all of the undercard matches were fun and for what they were. Wasn't the biggest fan of Bully Ray versus Raj, but that was for somebody.
You don't want to what's up and get the tables, Phil?
Yeah, wasn't for me. The stuff with the ref also. I mean, doing all this stuff with Bully Ray and treating Bully like he's he's the special attraction here, and I get why. Right.
Yeah,
but it just wasn't for me, man. Having him cut a promo on the way out, and then he comes out there and he's like chastising Sam LaTurner as the announcer and saying, "Man, get it right. Say this and say this." So I'm just like, all right.
I loved it in 1998. The Dudley Boys are on my Mount Rushmore tag teams, but I don't know. With what we got, we're seeing Takeshita and Josh Alexander go toe-to-toe. We're seeing all these great matches and wrestlers, and then Bully Ray, like Phil saying, is supposed to be like the punchline, the guy that brought us to the building. He did not bring us to the building. I'm a big fan of Bully Ray. I think there's a place for him in the card, but like not as much as that was here, you know?
Yeah. Wasn't a fan of this match. Chris Hogan, I think you're right. I think Joe Tessitore does have some similarities to Morrow.
He does.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. But yeah, I thought Jake Something is one of those guys. Every time I see him wrestle, I'm like, why isn't this guy bigger? Why isn't he signed to a bigger company? He's so great. He's got a phenomenal look, man. Big man wrestler, very distinct. He wrestled Rohan Raja in the Grail match. Raja actually won that match, but this was a really good spot for Jake. I thought he was a lot of fun in this match.
I just saw Jake Something at West Coast Pro a couple weekends ago, and you guys, I do a black wrestlers list. I care about black wrestling a lot, but I am team Jake Something. Like I'm pushing some other wrestlers too, and Jake Something's one of those guys. It's confusing to me, Phil. Like when I saw him in person at West Coast Pro, I was all, do people not have eyes like for what they want on mainstream wrestling?
This so guy's good.
Huge. He's strong. He's fucking charismatic. He gets everything. I'm like, what? Why is he not huge right now? I don't understand. Like the position, like of like a Wardlow or like a guy like that. Like he's better than that. You guys, I don't understand.
Yeah, I really don't get it. But yeah, I think he's very fun to watch. Giselle Shaw, I think, was absolutely one of the MVPs of this weekend with both shows. I thought she proved that she belonged in a lot of ways. If people were just following up her run with TNA, and she did pretty well there. But the match with Miyu Yamashita was very good. I thought that she wrestled very well. Miyu is Miyu. I mean, I know she's gonna look good, but I thought that Giselle came out of this looking really, really good. She came out looking really well the second day with Athena.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get set up to have some great matches and some great people, me, you, and Athena, what a weekend to have. She was, there was a moment in Impact or TNA that I thought they were going to invest and go all in on her. And I was like, yeah, she's doing some great work. And she was like leading the Knockouts division. And then I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm glad that this is another opportunity for her to get some shine, because I thought she did great this entire weekend.
Yeah, I thought she was phenomenal on both nights. But the main event of night one, which is probably the thing that most people are going to talk about from both these shows.
Five big boys.
Boy, easily one of the matches of the year. I mean, these two guys, not surprising because both of these guys are very, very good at the wrestling.
Speedball Mike Bailey, who's surprised?
Konosuke Takeshita taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. This was incredible. The strikes, the counters. Man, Mike Bailey doing that big shooting star into a leg drop. Bro.
Shout out to Jason Cross. Yeah, it's of course, if you've listened to Grapsody anytime, you know how Righteous Reg feels about Mike Bailey. This guy is an otherworldly, as Lindsey would say, generational talent that I don't think people really understand what he could do. He takes every wrestler that he wrestles into his match, and like his match is fucking awesome. Takeshita, I knew when they announced this match that it was going to be fire, because both these guys have that, I guess it's fighting spirit of like they're deep into the match and then they just get back and like, we're starting a whole new match and we're cooked into something different. These guys have chemistry like no other. Takeshita strikes, his fucking forearms and elbows are fucking ridiculous. He is cooking with something different since becoming the international. Actually, for the last couple months, since coming back from the G1, honestly, like he's been on another level. And this match was phenomenal, 5 stars. Of course, I'd like to see these guys wrestle 20 more times, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, just the year Takeshita's having, I think Takeshita's easily a guy that should be on anybody's list of the best wrestlers of 2024. Some of the matches he had to start this year, the Will Ospreay match, the Darby match.
The Darby match is fire, bro.
Bro, the run in the G1, the triple threat that from this past weekend at Wrestle Dream, this match, he's got so many of them, and I love this presentation of him.
Oh, yeah, that was last week. That fucking triple threat match.
Yeah, yeah, but I love this presentation of him, and I love this use of the international title as like kind of the belt that you can use as like the traveling world champion, and I really liked when Pac was doing it, so I'm glad that they're going back to doing more of that with Takeshita, getting a chance to see him here in Canada. Hopefully we're going to see him go to Japan with that belt and some other places. Yeah. But yeah, just this guy's presence at this point, man, like I was one of them guys like, you sure you want to bring him back and have him standing next to Don? Bro, night 2 when he was standing in the middle of that ring with the belt draped over his shoulders with just Don, I was like, nah, dog. He's out of here, bro.
He's somebody else. Yeah, no, he like, I think we've all known for a couple of years now that he can work and he's got it, but like getting the confidence to like, yeah, I'm in the ring with Will Ospreay. Yeah, I'm in the ring with Okada. Yeah, I'm in the ring with these guys, but I can beat everybody's ass here. I don't care. Like he's not intimidated. He's comfortable in every position he's in. And like becoming world champion, the international champion gave him even more confidence. So like, I know there was a contingent of people that were like, oh, I think he should beat Okada and become the Continental champion. But him being the international champion and doing things like this is going to hold way more weight, I think. So it's going to get some exciting for the next couple months if Takeshita's taking this belt around the world.
Yeah, I think this role suits him. Harley was also a big part of this show. She was in the mix with the women in the backstage segment. She was in the mix with the bully stuff, and man, she's just so great in the role she's used. And very funny. She's gotten better and better as a talker. She's one of those wrestlers that you're seeing it click in real time, and it's just cool to see her like finding her lane, and it just works.
Yeah, it's she was a character for a while on AEW that I was like, I think if she's given the opportunity, she's going to excel because she feels like really hungry. And now it's like showing like her work is paying off and her getting her opportunity. She always gets like some really funny bit or something off in every show. I'm excited for Harley. And she's pretty not that bad in the ring. She can actually get work.
Yeah, I think she's pretty good. We got on night 2, we got a bunch of undercards. Again, we saw the Jet Setters again. Jet Setters were also fun on night 1. Every time I see this guy Kevin Knight wrestle, I'm like, bro, this guy's special, man. Just the way he hangs in the air, like it just looks unreal, man. That standing frog splash he does where he turns in midair and lands on the opponent, man. Like, bro, his drop kick, man. Like he's just, man.
He's a
very special talent.
Different level. Like the height that he gets off basic moves. Like his high spot is a drop kick. Like that's how special this guy is.
Yeah, man. The way he makes so many of these moves that we see all the time just looks special because of his athleticism, his dives and stuff, and just how different it looks, man. Yeah, he's another one where he's gonna be huge. Somebody's got to get him behind him and invest big on him soon because that guy is gonna be big. I believe he's still in his New Japan contract, but still, like somebody's got to make
how much
the
longer
move.
he got in that bad boy.
Yeah. But yeah, we got the tag match. We got more Harley. Harley teamed up with Laney Luck, another Chicagoan, against Kylie Ray and Miyu Yamashita. I thought this was a fun match. We got the scramble match. That was fun, but man, I did not expect. But again, I should expect because Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball versus ELP. Boy, whew. This was a very, very fun match. It was much better than I expected coming into it. Man, if you don't watch any match from night 2, I feel like you can watch this one in the main event and, man, just so good.
Speedball is building a resume. I don't know. I tweeted a couple weeks ago about it's going to look very different in TNA eventually and then the next year. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of wrestlers are building resumes for what's to come. And I feel like Speedball might be on that. Because, like, this weekend, I mean, every Speedball match is insane. Yeah. But these 2 matches back to back, and, like, this is how he does every weekend. It's like, I'm showing somebody that I'm worth the price tag. So they got Speedball's on his way. I'm excited. Very excited.
Excellent match. Great false finishes. Some big, heavy spots. Very, very fun match. Again, Giselle Shaw was excellent as well in the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship match against Athena. As much as we sing the praises of Athena on this podcast, I don't think anybody should be surprised of how much I enjoyed this match, how good Athena is. But again, Giselle, I thought really showed she belonged in both this match and the match from night 1.
Athena she can be a great wrestler in her sleep at this point. Like every match that she has is insane. And I love like in positions like this of like another hungry wrestler, just like, let's go out there and have a fucking fire ass match and show these people why women's wrestling is amazing. I'd love to see Athena on more. I don't know what her independent schedule. This one feels a little bit special. This isn't like a regular ass independent wrestling show, but I'd love to see Athena in more spots like this, or just like, main roster on AEW.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
Maybe I'll leave a post-it note around here on this desk, like put Athena on TV. I'm joking, you guys. I'm joking.
But yeah, main event for night 2. Tough act to follow that main event from night 1, but Takeshita versus Josh Alexander for the AEW International title was also very, very good. Go figure, another guy that is very, very good at wrestling, and Josh Alexander. So no surprise that these two put on the show.
Super talented.
Man, we saw all of the Jun Akiyama influences in this match with Takeshita doing the running knee strike, Blue Thunder Bomb, of course. But man, that spinning Falcon Arrow he does now, man, so clean, man. I love it.
It was the Blue Thunder Bomb originally that he had the crazy spin with, but now he's added it to the Falcon's Arrow. Like he's making spinning brainbuster type things into his deal, and I'm like, yo, Takeshita is insane. I feel like he's one of those not even in his prime yet. Like they're still like he's still young, and like in 10 years is gonna be even more amazing. And I feel like this year of him racking up this resume and having these amazing matches is gonna be even better next year.
Yeah. Also, very, very good at German suplexes.
Yes.
Just, man, great wrestler, man.
And Josh Alexander cannot take anything away from him. Fucking insane, tremendous wrestler that, like, I hope he doesn't get lost away in TNA in this next year, you know?
Yeah, he does so many dynamic things. He's another one like I was saying with Kevin Knight, where he does things that we see other wrestlers do, but he adds something to it that makes it look unique. Like there was a point in the match where he was getting ready to lock in an ankle lock, and he stomped down on Konosuke's ankle very hard before he started it, and it's just those kind of things that makes him stand out, that make him a dynamic wrestler.
Right, yeah. He, when I look at the TNA main event heavyweight title scene, I'm like, why isn't Josh Alexander like still the fixture in this? It's pretty confusing. They got a show tonight. Shout out to TNA.
They do. Bound for Glory will be tonight in Detroit. But yeah, this was
put that on one of Will Washington's TVs around here. Like, you want to watch TNA, don't you? I'm gonna get him in trouble. Look, I'm just saying bits over here, you guys. I'm talking too much. I know.
But yeah, I thought that this was a good debut for Maple Leaf. I think, like we said earlier, people making the comparisons to TNA, I don't think it's a bad thing. If you just want like a new indie promotion, to watch, and like for something to have like the super indie vibe of bringing wrestlers from New Japan and other promotions like CMLL or somewhere else and putting them on these kind of cards, I think that this can be fun. I'm interested to see what more they do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with knowing the dealings of Scott D'Amore and TNA at the end there, and like knowing what Scott wanted to get into eventually and turn TNA into, like, I wasn't surprised at all about the production value, about the storylines, about the matches. I'm like, yeah, Scott D'Amore already told us on his last couple of months or year in TNA what he was going to do or how he was going to move about. And so I wasn't surprised at all. I don't know how this continues forward. Like, is it a full promotion? Do they just do spot shows here? Like, they were using a lot of outside talent. Like, they didn't really establish like Major League is going to be this, or Maple League Pro is going to be this moving forward. So I'm interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Of course, I'm assuming they're going to establish their own world title at some point. But not a bad way to start out of using Takeshita as your main eventer 2 nights in a row. If you got Takeshita and you can use them, not a bad idea to present this guy like a massive star and use him as your main eventer.
Like, I could get 2 main events out of Takeshita. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. We're going to get into some more Humper chats in a bit, some more super chats. Before I do that, going to hit you with a word from our sponsors.
Yes, sir.
BetOnline.AG is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.AG. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline.AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.AG, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
As always, everyone, please bet responsibly. But for your sports betting needs, BetOnline.AG is a place to go.
Yes, sir.
One of the only sports books where you can bet on pro wrestling. There's nothing this week that you can bet on, but I believe there's futures that you can bet on for John Cena's WrestleMania opponent or something like that.
I'm sure you could bet on his odds of winning the Royal Rumble too at this point.
I'm sure that's on there as well.
Might be a good bet. I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. I don't want to see him win a Rumble in 2025. I'm good. But
you know that's a thing that they would do.
Wouldn't be shocked, but I don't need it.
Right. Same here.
We got more super chats and some we definitely got more humper chats.
That's a fact. We got a couple of super chats. Ten Ruza says, "Pump for Will Washington to cook with MVP Hurt Syndicate. Get Denise on now." Oh yeah, we'll have Denise on here soon. She's not here at Will Washington's manor. She's at her own place. So, Yes Boy says, "So are they going to pair Oba and Nikita? Did him returning her jacket tease something? HBK showing us his search words." Yeah, Denise texted me as NXT was on to be like, "I think Oba and Nikita are again." And I'm like, well, she would try because you know. But also, do I know? Because she be, listen, I'm staying away from it. I think, Phil.
Yeah. I guess that's for somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't. Phil and I aren't too versed in NXT things, so. Nikita, anytime like they got some talented women back there, and they're putting Nikita Lyons on, like that's crazy. But yeah, that's our super chat. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, right after he dropped the North American title, teasing that that's what he's going to be doing next is yikes.
That's what you're following up with? Are you sure?
I don't know. Into some more humper chats. From Tony P says WWE and AEW was meh or okay show, with NXT being worst to me so far, since I haven't seen SmackDown yet, but I'm glad for Motor City Machine Guns for the win. I forgot most of Raw except for the women's match, Seth Reed, and the main event. Yeah, I saw a lot of people down on AEW this week, and because I don't always live tweet things when it's happening anymore, and I can't see people's reaction in the moment, I'm usually seeing it after the fact. And so when I watched it, I was like, this was fine. Some of this stuff on the show was not really for me, but I didn't think it was as bad as some people made it out to be.
It's like in the case of weekly pro wrestling, like I can't. Some people are just so hard stanced on like that was the worst episode. I'm like, dude, it's not like it's enough. We're gonna get another one next week. Like it's not that serious. Like it wasn't the worst episode I ever seen. It wasn't the best episode I ever seen. It was just like a cool episode of Dynamite. Or I liked some things in it. I didn't like some things in it, but it wasn't like the end of the world. You know what I mean? And some people are like, that was not that great. And I'm like, it's fine, I think.
Yeah, I continue to think the Mox stuff is very good. Opening every week with Mox gives the show like this overarching story, and Dynamite's been missing that for a little bit. So I'm glad that we're getting that, where you have an angle that opens and closes the show now. It makes Mox and company feel like a big threat, having the baby faces stand outside like, oh, we're going to get you. Get out of that car. I saw some people that didn't like this and said that it made them look like dorks. But I thought it was fine because I thought that it showed that the baby faces aren't going to just take this every week of them coming in and getting beat up. And at least they're going to try and change up their strategy. Their strategy wasn't very smart this week.
Not the best
but
one.
I thought it was fine. I think them getting outsmarted also just makes Blackpool Combat Club look cool, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of like along of the story that Moxley has been telling to these specific guys that are out here waiting for him, is like, you guys are complacent. You guys are a little bit dumb. I feel like you guys are being dumb, and like that was a dumb move that they made. Like that was the best strategy you had, waiting for them in one parking entrance when they could go like, this is an arena, dude. There's other entrances. Like they could come in from a different place. I think it made the baby faces look dumb, but on purpose. And I feel like specifically who was out there, it was done for that. Like they took when it started, it's like Daniel Garcia, Private Party, all these guys, but like all the top guys left for matches, and then they just kind of left the people that were there representing at the end. It's like, okay, I'm not mad at these guys for waiting for Blackpool Combat Club. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's all people that have kind of had like a stake in the company from day one.
Right.
And so it makes sense. And it continues to petition Mox and Blackpool Combat Club as this threat to day one guys, and forcing these guys that have been here for 5 years to step up. And so I still like that bit of it. I like that this has helped Private Party a lot. Private Party has come across better and better every week. Zay is becoming a great talker, and every time they give this guy a mic, I'm like, yeah, man, they don't need a manager, man. Just let them be them. And I was very I was very surprised that we got the announcement already that they're challenging for the tag titles again next week for the episode.
I was surprised by
the Halloween themed episode. I thought for sure that was going to be on a pay-per-view if they got a rematch. But it also flew in the face of a lot of things I was being told when I said, man, maybe they should have just won at the pay-per-view. People were like, look, there's a story here, and they're going to give them matches to build themselves up in the meantime. And
they're going to be in full gear. I heard a bunch of people were in my mention saying that, it's fine, they'll be at full gear.
They're gonna team up with Stokely, even though Stokely's a heel. All these other things. I'm like, man, maybe they don't need to do that. Maybe they just should challenge these guys and win. I like the aspect of them taking the history that Young Bucks split up SCU, and so they're like, hey man, you're not gonna give us another match. So how about we sweeten the pot and say if we lose, we'll never team up again. Can I say that was a great way to get back to this match? I like that there's continuity here, but I don't love that this went from a moment that you could have just had them win at the pay-per-view to potentially a moment where they're going to win on a Dynamite in Ohio, which and they absolutely should win. They can't just do all of that and have them lose next week. If this just leads to Private Party splitting up next week, then what was the point of any of this?
I'm about to yell. if Private Party loses next week, I'm yelling. I think that kind of setting that it feels like I constantly talk about stakes, and like the pay-per-view had all the stakes. Like you could have just had, if Private Party would have just did it, we wouldn't have to even get to this point. I think the pay-per-view loss kind of sold a lot of people in the crowd and maybe like the AEW higher ups on, we should have done it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it sold it even better of like, now we can, like the Zay selling at the end and them kind of playing off of that. Is there a potential that they break up though, Phil?
I don't think it is. I see a lot of people believing that they could, but I think it would be a terrible decision to split them up with where the tag division is right now and the story you're telling with them and the story you're telling with Mox. I think it would be a terrible decision.
Oh man, that'd be so sad. Mox is like, you guys are horrible, and then they just end up breaking up.
Then
the story that the Young Bucks told before the last match, if they ended up breaking up, that'd be horrible. But I do like that story aspect of like, well, how do we get the Young Bucks in the match? We keep pestering them. We keep trying to get a match. If we tell them one more match and if we lose, we'll break up, they'll definitely be into it. So like that aspect is great, but like, if there's a potential that Private Party can break up, I'm out. And like you said, they probably could have got to it. They could have just did it at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the 6-man was also a lot of fun.
That was fun.
I like the trio of Private Party and Daniel Garcia together because they're friends clearly in real life. And so it makes sense to put them together and put them against Jack and the Bucks. And I thought that this was a fun match. The Bucks, when you give them chances to wrestle, when they're on TV, they're still a lot of fun to watch wrestle. Go figure. This is what we've been saying on this podcast a lot. Like, hey, I just want to see them. I just want to see them wrestle.
Phil, it almost makes me mad when it happens because I'm like, it's not hard, dude. Just go and do them. And anytime you do the matches, I'm standing up in my room. I'm cheering. I'm hooting. I'm like, this is the Young Bucks I used to see in Reseda. These are the reasons that this fucking company exists. And all you got to do is ring the bell. Like, we're on here complaining about their fucking gimmick and the EVP thing, and some of it's kind of slow and like it's weird. It's like, but when you do the matches, I don't care about any of that. Like, I don't care what's going on. Like, I'm just all in. Like, these matches are amazing. The 6-man was awesome. They're classic 6-man wrestlers, 6-man match wrestlers. So it's like, these are all the elements that are great. And this is all we really want. Like, if you guys, like when you guys created the trios thing, I thought it was going to be that you guys are going to go all in on that. Yeah. And then it wasn't as intense as it should have been. It's like, dude, just do the matches and the Young Bucks will be the Young Bucks.
Yeah. I didn't love doing another Queen Aminata match on Dynamite just for Queen Aminata to lose. Wasn't the biggest fan of that. But I do understand what you're doing. Yeah, I do understand what you're doing here. You're continuing to try to build up Camille for the match with Statlander, I guess, but
I really
wish
did
that,
like that video package that they showed of Camille and Stat. They're both training. It
Yeah.
looks kind of like a UFC fight package of like they're both training. It's intense. They're gonna square off, and this is a really cool thing that I think AEW has been doing recently. Of in this show, they did one of those spots where it like next week we're gonna be in this place, and then the week after that we're gonna be in this place with like all the fans cheering and everything. Like, you guys should invest in more like, this is where we're going to be. Fans, you could get tickets to that. You could do this. And I thought that match package was the same kind of thing of like, next week you could see these two big powerhouses wrestle. But the match, it's like, it's good for Amanada because she had the good showing against Mercedes. Her still being linked to Mercedes, I think, is good. But yeah, another loss, I don't know if that was... Because it's like people are kind of going to start relating losses with Amanada. Like, she's put in big positions, but does she ever win?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I like the presentation that they're putting together for Camille and Statlander. I like that they're treating this match like a big deal. I just wish Amanada didn't have to take another L to get to the match next week.
It probably didn't have to be Amanada to get Camille there. Like, we still would have been sold on the match with her not beating Amanada, you know?
Yeah, I still enjoy what they're doing with Mercedes. I think that it was very smart for the last few weeks to put her back on Dynamite and go, hey, let's build to this next pay-per-view match. Let's make sure that we have something story-wise and we have a matchup that's unique. I like that they're putting over how big Statlander is and how the size difference and the difference in strength is going to be like the big test for Mercedes here. That after match stuff where she tried to hit her from behind and she just turns around like, what was that? There mosquito in the room? Like, what's going on? I thought all of that was good. Mercedes still doing very funny heel stuff like running up to Amanada out of nowhere and slapping her and then running away. I think it's great.
Mercedes is really funny. I mean, and like at the end of this, the fucking goal of this is Mercedes and Chris Statlander, and like just imagine how insane that match is going to be. I think like Stat has a lot of goodwill with AEW fans, and she needs that classic match that we all relate back to, and I feel like this Mercedes one's going to be it. I'm excited, really excited about it.
Yeah, I agree, Mac, with the way that she bumped for Statlander. You can tell that a big part of this is highlighting Statlander. And I think Mercedes still looks like a big star. She comes out not wearing the same outfit twice. Like, never. She always comes out with a different look, always comes out with like the big presentation and everything. But she has definitely been doing like the chicken shit heel stuff here to make Statlander feel like a big deal and make her feel like an opponent that could realistically beat her.
I mean, even just that spot you're talking about of her hitting her from behind and then Stat looking like, what the hell was that? Like, that's what you're going to be bringing to this match? I'm about to throttle your ass. It's like making Stat feel like a huge threat. Mercedes is such a great bumper off of everything that like she can make a shoulder block look like she just got destroyed. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this match, because I feel like Stats get to be on display in a different way that we haven't seen her in a while, like a powerhouse with a smaller wrestler, and Mercedes gets to just flop around and do her thing. It's going to be great. She's going to be selling like crazy.
Yeah. This is a match that Mercedes wanted, and Statlander has given a lot of people over there some of their best matches. I kind of think that Statlander gave Britt her best match outside of of course, the Thunder Rosa matches. Yeah, I think that match with Statlander from All Out 2021 is one of Britt's best matches.
Yeah, Stat is one of those. Like, you need somebody that can go. This is the one. And another one of those when Mercedes came in, one of the dream matches was Stat. So this is some good build-up, and it's going to be on the pay-per-view. It's getting some time to happen. I hope we get a couple more Mercedes matches on TV, because I think the Emi Sakura and the Queen Amanada matches were insanely fun, and I just want to see a couple more before we get to Statlander.
Absolutely. Yeah, the stuff that I was not a fan of. The Jericho match went as I expected. No surprise here. The fact that they built up this big ladder match and had like these big crazy bumps in it, and you had all of this stuff to get to this win. And I mean, the crazy part is that Big Bill continues to ironically get over with all this stuff. He is coming across better and better, and all this stuff. But I don't think that matters if you don't have an end game for Big Bill.
matter.
If there's no payoff to this and there's nothing for him after this, because we've seen this before. We've seen Jericho team up with guys and they get the TV time next to him. But if there's nothing to pay this off, then I don't know why we're doing it. And I definitely don't know why, with Mark Briscoe arguably having the best run of his career, becoming a television star, like, man, we all knew he could wrestle. We all knew he was a great character from Ring of Honor, but him being on actual cable television and being introduced to a new audience, and people can see how fun and energetic he is and how much he adds so much to the program by just him being there. And to have that and see that happening in real time and go, you know what, let's just have him lose to Jericho. I just don't understand the decision at all. I just don't get it. And then when you tie
my least
in,
favorite part of the whole thing, Phil, was like, like Jericho, like, this sucks. Big Bill carried him up there. Jericho grabs down the belt and immediately they bring out Ishii. Like, Mark Briscoe's erased in 5 seconds. I was like, wait, no, what's happening here? Why are you? We're not even gonna sell Mark Briscoe losing for 3 seconds. We're already moving on. I was offended.
Yeah, I hated that as well. And, you know, along with that, I continue to be confused about what we're doing with Ring of Honor at this point. We've gotten on here multiple times, not just on this podcast, on Ask Grapsody, and said, well, if you're just going to make Ring of Honor its own thing, if you're going to make it developmental, if you're going to make it a feeder, I think you got to just get to it and do that. Pull the trigger and do that. Yeah. All of this, like, continuing to put the title on AEW wrestlers, and that doesn't benefit Ring of Honor in the long run. I just don't get why we're still doing that. Like, you've got so many guys that you can put that title on, even if it's an AEW wrestler, and have them go down there and actually be on Ring of Honor weekly. I have no belief that this is going to lead to Jericho being on Ring of Honor weekly.
Dog, the after this match, I wanted Big Bill to beat Jericho for the belt. I'm like, that shouldn't be like, that shouldn't be the resolution to this. Is I want Big Bill to be the one to defeat him after that. The choke slam to the outside through the table was awesome. Like, Big Bill was awesome in this match, and he has been in a lot of spots. But like Phil's saying, like, if the end goal isn't putting Big Bill over, what the fuck are we even doing? Like, what is all of this?
How? If you are doing this to potentially put that belt on Brian Keith, and have him be the face of Ring of Honor somewhere down the line, I would love that. But if that's what we're going to do, get to it, build a story, and actually do something interesting with this. Don't just put this belt on Jericho for the sake of doing it.
I can't believe my friend would do this to me and get me to turn that fast. I'm like, wait, if this can be potential Brian Keith, then like I might be in for all of this. But yeah, I thought it was it sucked because we knew it was coming and then it came.
Oh yeah, I knew soon as, especially because I expected him to win at the pay-per-view, and so when he didn't win at Wrestle Dream, I said, okay, it's never over after first match with Jericho. And then when the ladder match got announced, I said, oh yeah, he's going to win. He's going to win on Dynamite.
We knew it was happening, and then it happened. I was like, damn, that's really unfortunate. And then, like I said, immediately going to Ishii and moving on. They shot like one little shot of Mark Briscoe dead on the table. I'm like, okay, again, if we're locking, future long run, if this is leading to Mark Briscoe getting a higher position in AEW, I'm all in. I'm all about it. But like the way that it went down, I didn't love it.
Yeah, I didn't like this at all. I continue to think it's a bad idea because I don't want people to think like, oh, you guys just hate Jericho. You have this vendetta against Jericho.
No.
Jericho has done things with AEW that I liked, but I just think it's a terrible idea to see that your audience has fatigue with this guy and to continue to dig your feet in the sand and go, nope, we're going to keep putting him on TV. We're going to keep giving him moments. We're going to keep putting belts on him. No, your fan base, a good amount of them is saying, I don't want this. And so I don't understand. Like, this doesn't feel like heat. This just feels like I'm kind of tired of you doing the same thing with this guy. Do something else.
That's it. Like, I talked about it on the post show. Like, it's actually kind of amazing. Like, if you look at the best Chris Jericho matches the last 2 years, most of them are like plunder matches, and Chris Jericho's a 50-plus-year-old man. And there's never a time, I haven't watched a lot of Jericho matches where I'm like, that was bad, that sucked, they shouldn't have been down there. It's just like, as overstays his welcome, just kind of like Chris Jericho does. And this match specifically was fun. Like, if you put plunder, put tables, ladders, and shit, like Chris Jericho can do that. And it's amazing that at this age he's still going for it. But it's like, yeah, there's fatigue. There's like he's like, you guys are tired of it, so I'm gonna do more. But it's like, I don't know, man. If you like took a break and came back, I think these people probably would appreciate you more.
Yeah. It's nothing wrong with taking some time off and coming back.
No, he's historically known, like his WWE thing used to be he'd leave for a year, come back to a huge pop, fight for 6 months, leave for 2 years, come back, a huge pop. And like that used to be his thing, reinvention, doing all of this. But like AEW, he's just been like, I'm here. I'm always here. Even if Fozzie's on tour, I'm still here. And it's like, dog, you can chill. It's fine. We're not going to forget about you, dog. We're going to remember. It's Chris Jericho. Come on.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take some time off, buddy. I don't know.
Couple months.
And then the other part is I just don't think this learning tree stuff is good. I don't think it's funny. I just don't think it's good. But somebody likes it, I guess. It's just not for me.
I'm trying to think of what the equivalent of this Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor. Is it like if Randy Orton won the NXT championship? Like, I'm trying to think of like the equivalent of like what is this and why is it happening? Like, Ring of Honor is supposed to represent something, but Chris Jericho's the champion? Like, that doesn't even sound right.
This is a very TNA LOL move.
It's a TNA move.
It is definitely a TNA LOL move. But I think the highlight of the show, and what has been the highlight of the show since MVP showed up, has been the presentation of the Hurt Syndicate. The way they're building them up, the way they're building up anticipation for Bobby to get here. And we talked about it like right after Wrestle Dream and how we all expected Bobby to show up at the pay-per-view. But I think that, man, it has been a blessing in disguise for MVP and Shelton, because
Shelton specifically,
you've got a chance to build him up and make him look like more than just a lackey, and then also do so many things that celebrate his career, having him come out and giving him the introduction of Standard of Excellence. They added to his theme song, You Can't Stop Me, at the beginning. I'm here for all of this. Hear from him, continue to get his flowers. And
the perception of Shelton Benjamin just 2 weeks ago, Phil, of people being like, are you sure? Are we sure we're going to bring back Shelton? And then him doing the Leo match and everybody being like, oh shit, Shelton's still Shelton. And then him doing this match again and being like, dude, Shelton's a fucking monster, dude. What do you mean? Like, we are all, I love it. I've been a Shelton fan since 2002, like big fan, and like, yeah, I knew that he would come and cook, but like, I don't know, there's like a certain extra aggression that he's adding that feels like, I don't know, feels real or something. And he's like, I don't know if we could say this name out loud, but he's doing like this Brock Lesnar style beat downs now. And I'm like, wait a second, I kind of like this shit.
Yeah, definitely big Minnesota Wrecking Crew vibes. I love that he's not steering away from the era that made him popular, doing the callback to the Shawn match, and just how big of a deal that was for people and how the reaction that got online, the fact that Sammy was a part of it. Sammy had the picture up with him during his gold standard era. And man, everything about this MVP during the match, yelling at him like, stop playing with your food, MVP still being MVP. That is a lot of fun, man. This Hurt Syndicate stuff has been great so far. I love that they're so unique to anything. They're so unique to anything else on the show. They're not coming out and doing any silly stuff or joking. They're serious business. We're coming out here to beat you up. We know that Shelton is good, like you said, but it isn't just like him going out there and out wrestling people. He's out wrestling people, and he's kind of out manhandling some of these smaller wrestlers.
He's
like,
whooping their ass, doc.
Hey, man, I came from the land of giants over here. I heard the smaller guys over here, man. Look, send me a real opponent. Stop playing with me, dog.
Like, I'm throttling. Like, you're going to send this guy in here? I'm going to kill this guy. And, like, his eyes, like, the way... There was a really dope video package of them promoting the match. And, like, Sam talked about... He showed that picture that Phil's talking about of him and Shelton. And it kind of... And then it shoots over to MVP. and Shelton and MVP's just like getting into just mean, and like all of his promos like really mean something and they hit, and Shelton's just looking menacing in the back. I'm like, this Hurt Syndicate shit is hard. It was really was a fucking blessing in disguise, because like we all were on the Bobby Lashley's gonna be here. Like Bobby Lashley could potentially have debuted at Wrestle Dream, and like Shelton wouldn't have been the focal point of the show. And like, I don't know if these two matches would have even happened, like, but we got these two matches. And now there's a people that are like, well, should Shelton beat Swerve? And I'm like, that was the plan, I think, to get you guys to think that, but no way that Shelton should beat Swerve. Come on.
No, this is classic. Build up the second guy in command, make him look like this big badass. So then when you do put him against Swerve, it doesn't feel like Swerve is just going to run through him. He's going to have a challenge. But then even if he beats Shelton, the big final boss behind him is the real threat. And so I'm assuming this is going to be the main event next week, Shelton versus Swerve. The fact that all of this is turned into a main event angle for them next week is cool. But man, potentially getting Bobby Lashley at the end and building to the Full Gear match, I'm here for all of that. I think all of this has been excellent.
Black ass main event. Very exciting stuff, man. Swerve's there. Shelton's still as great as he's ever been. They're going to be in the potential main event. Bobby fucking Lashley could show up. This is a lot of good stuff happening over here, Phil.
Yeah. And I mean, people are like, does Swerve need to win? Yeah, of course he needs to win. I mean, he's coming off of 2 big losses. He lost to Bryan, then he lost to Hangman at All Out. And so you got to give him a big win. He's
coming back. Like, he needs to have this win.
You got to give him the big win after getting cleared over somebody that you spent the last few weeks building up, so that the match with Bobby Lashley feels even bigger. I mean, I still think it's just, man, it's so cool that Bobby Lashley is coming in like, hey, man, give me a former world champion. Give me the most dangerous man in the company. And it's Swerve Strickland. So dope.
It makes me so happy. And like, I'm thinking back to the Wrestle Dream promo. Swerve comes out with the pyro and just looking like a huge star, and thinking about being at the shows last week and outside and before the shows, it's just Swerve. Whose house? Swerve's house. Like, the fans are in, like, he's in that position. So like, that makes it even better that Lashley's like, oh, I'm coming in to work with somebody, and I want to work with the fucking big star, and it's Swerve.
Yeah. Very excited for that match next week. Very excited for when Bobby does show up, man.
Dog.
Every week that he doesn't show up, I feel like it feels even bigger now. He feels like an even bigger threat now because they continue to build Shelton up. Very much looking forward to Bob showing up.
Exciting stuff. Hurt Syndicate. And then there was another skit where they talked to Ricochet in the back. Renee was talking to Ricochet, and Bob and Shelton pulled up on him with the old Hurt Syndicate card. How you feel about Ricochet and the Hurt Syndicate, Phil?
I like it because they immediately played off of the continuity from the Hurt business, and they did proposition Ricochet during that time, and he didn't join them, but they ended up beating up on Ricochet quite a bit after that. And so
MVP talks about in interviews, if you see, he's like, I really wanted to have Ricochet. Like, it was an angle, but I really wanted to have him in the original Hurt business. So
yeah, so I think having the callback of him wanting him initially, but also going, hey, man, I know we don't have the best pass, but look, just take the card and, we can talk. I thought that was good. I think that everybody he's talked to.
New company, we could start from the beginning. I was like, okay, I like this. They're kind of mentioning what happened in the past.
Yeah, but that's always where I think AEW shines. They're not afraid to tie back to continuity from other companies. They don't act like none of that stuff happened. Didn't happen, rather.
Like, oh no, this is they're the first wrestler. This is the first time they ever wrestled. They never wrestled in the past. There's never been a past. No, AEW will be like, there's been a past. And I did like Ricochet was wearing a suit. MVP's like, nice suit. I'm like, angry. Ricochet needs something, and not talking, I think, is the thing. And MVP could be that guy. I think we're making money over here.
I wouldn't be mad at him with those guys.
Guess we'll see. A lot of interesting stuff happening with that.
They need somebody in that group with hair, though, man. Like, why are you over the ball?
It's going to be Team Bald.
Team Bald black guys, man.
They need somebody in that group with hair is hella funny.
Nah, dog.
Who got hair?
Swerve coming out when they all are like together, and he's like, "Man, nah, I ain't scared of Team Milk Dud." Like,
Not the Tommy Strong crew. That's crazy. Like,
Tommy Strong.
and they're all giant too. Like, you can't even talk about their bald heads because they'll kill you. What a crazy ass group.
Big fan, guys. Just let you know,
huge
big fan.
fan. Yeah, no, these are all just bits.
Big fan.
Those guys are giant, dude. Just MVP and Shelton, and then Lashley's gonna come too. Nah, I'm messing with y'all.
Yeah,
y'all could kill everybody in this locker room. Y'all can kill everybody in here. I'm not playing with y'all.
Yeah. Got some more super chats, I believe. We definitely have some more humper chats to get into, more graps to get into.
A couple super chats here. Tenruza says, RE, WWE, Rolling Stone, Nick and Paul surely know stuff. I mean, feels like with every new article that comes out, they are, I don't want to say implicated, but like, they were around there.
Doesn't look good.
It does not look good. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't look good. Tony P says, Reg, Doc can do the third verse for the Super Bowl, and Phil, I sent it. The third verse of Not Like Us. Once upon a time. Okay. Okay, I'm hearing you.
I don't know if he could do all of that verse, but
not all of it. That's what I'm saying.
Run to Atlanta when you need a check.
Pussy. I hope he says that. That's legit my favorite line of the third verse. Pussy.
So the pop star kept hiding.
Lyndon Ernst III says the proper historical context for the BCC are the original Horsemen, not the NWO. They're four brutally efficient grapplers who are gonna stomp you out. This is taking me back to the 80s big time. It's a lot of 80s vibes in what the BCC is presented and how they're being presented.
Yeah, I've seen people that are down on it, but I am really enjoying it. I think it's just because Mox just brings something different. Mox feels like a big star. He brings a cool factor to everything he does. His ability to talk elevates a lot of this as well, because if it was just somebody else and he wasn't cutting these fire promos, I wouldn't be nearly as interested.
My question for you is, how do you relate it? There's a lot of people that are like, it's too similar to what the Young Bucks were doing months ago. Do you feel like, do you get those vibes when you think about the BCC? Because I don't really like it. Feels like they're two kind of separate kind of mission statements that both those groups are making, right?
I think they're two different approaches. I mean, first of all, a lot of what the Elite were doing is selfish. It's not about like trying to make the company better. It's about, hey, you guys thought we were using our power. We're going to use our power the way you thought we were going to use it, and we're doing it. We're doing it for the four of us. We're not trying to help anybody. And I think also they're still doing like all the comedy stick. There's no comedy to what these guys are doing. They're like legit trying to murder people. Like no. I think it's two totally different approaches.
Right. That's why when people keep bringing it up, they're like, "This is." I'm like, it's not really like the Elite weren't trying to take over per se. They were just trying to get more money, get bigger dressing rooms, get bigger houses. Like, it was all like us. BCC is like, we want AEW to be better. That's why I keep going on this, like, is the villain right? Because Mox is like, I want you guys to be better so our company could be better. I don't want you guys just to be better and, exist in these positions just because I want you to. Like, I want AEW to be the best. And if you guys are better, then we're all better. And it's like, I'm kind of with you though. Like, you're right. Like, Private Party should think that. Dark Order should think that. Yes. Daniel Garcia should think that. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy should think like that.
I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I love the idea of Private Party winning last night. I mean, next week, and then afterwards. Yeah, I was thinking last night because another team won last night, which we'll get into. But I love the idea of Private Party winning next week, and afterwards, like, they get their celebration getting out of ring, and Matt and Nick are heading backstage, and they get circled by them Sharks, and they're like, nah, man, if anybody has been complacent here, if anybody is part of the problem, well, why this company is the way it is, it's you. Y'all have to go.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting out here, Phil. Especially after that loss, and like they've been teasing it the last couple of weeks of like BCC's doing their thing and the elites like watching. And to your point, I think Jack has been a little bit more interested in what the BCC's doing than standing next to these guys.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that they could end up getting jumped next week. And I think maybe that's why the match is not on pay-per-view, because I very much could see them getting jumped and not being on next week's episode after that.
Take them out. And you don't want to do another, because we just did the Bryan thing. You don't want to do another takeout angle on the pay-per-view.
Maybe. You definitely don't want to do a takeout angle if they're still holding those belts.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Leonard Aaron's the third. Oh no, I already read that one. And then Van Twin Blade says, "Phil, get in the Discord. I made a Joshi channel. Phil will be in there. He's on his way."
Yeah.
And then Leonard Aaron's the third also says, "The Elite said it. The BCC are doing it. Going back to last spring, Mox told y'all they are the true elite of all elite wrestling. This is the violent continuation of that, and for really real."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like BCC
Levels.
or the Elite talked about it and they did for themselves. Mox and his crew are just doing it. They're like, we're going to go out here and beat everybody's ass, and then they're going to get it.
Yeah, the more and more I see the similarities with Jack as well, like I could see Jack being like, nah, them guys over there, like
Over
listen,
there.
Like, I like bomber jackets. They seem to like bomber jackets. Like,
they like dark settings and stuff and trucks. I like all those things.
They like dark settings and like metal and like manly facial hair. I want to be over there.
They're kind of doing. I don't want to be in suits and shit with y'all. Like, I'm trying to get into some grimy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Jack is gonna start being like, well, what about me though? Like, BCC is talking and they're talking to a lot of people that I'm in the same position, and like that's where I kind of feel like what Orange Cassidy's story is like. I feel like Orange Cassidy this week trying to change it a little bit, but I feel like previously he was like, maybe these guys are right though, because like maybe I am complacent. Maybe I can have more, because like anytime he's about to go and get on him, I feel like he's like in his brain like, but they're kind of right though. I don't know if you should fight them. Like, maybe you should fight with them.
Yeah. I think that cliffhanger with Orange Cassidy was also very good. Just the camera on him, seeing what happened to Chuck. And I feel like this is more of them doing the meta stuff of last year. We talked about it heading in All Out this year, but last year coming out of All Out, you had a trajectory with Orange Cassidy getting that match with Mox. It felt like this was the thing that should have moved him up to the world title picture, and it didn't. And then also, he got pulled back into some more of this best friend stuff. And so I very much like the idea of Mox looking around like, nah, we did that. We main evented All Out last year.
We already did it.
We killed it. And look at you right now. I'm world champion again. And you're in another group with a bunch of guys doing comedy bits. You're still
hanging out with Chuck Taylor, dog. What's going on here?
Here, let me show you something. Let me get him up out of here, because you playing. Let me get him up out of here. Let me show you what time it is, bro. Like,
oh, that's your boy? All right, I'm gonna show. That's your boy. That's why you're in the position, because you're backstage with him. All right, I'll show you then.
Yeah, so I like all of this, and I very much believe this is leading to Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley in probably the main event of Full Gear. Just makes too much sense at this point, and I think that match is going to be fire.
Do you do it?
Do you put the title on Orange Cassidy?
Mm-hmm. Not forever, of course, but like for a month.
I don't know, man. I really want to see Orange Cassidy as champion, but
I want to see Darby beat Mox, but I feel like Orange Cassidy definitely has a fight, you know?
I think you could do it more with Orange Cassidy getting this short title reign before Christian comes in and uses his contract.
I keep forgetting about fucking Christian.
But I don't know if I would say you should have Orange Cassidy beat him at the next pay-per-view coming up in November. That seems kind of soon.
Yeah.
But I do really want to see Orange Cassidy as champion.
Me too. Like, it has to happen. And like, where's the belt, Mox?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all really good work. I like that the end of Dynamite is Orange Cassidy slowly getting madder and madder and madder till he explodes. Yeah, I feel like it's going to lead to him and Mox at Full Gear. And yeah, that should be a super duper fire match. Hey, what's over there says, saw someone say that Darby should get the House of Black to help him fight the BCC. And if Private Party lose next week, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, that would be awful. There's no reason to have them lose next week. But yeah,
if you set us up again and they lose, something's going to be crazy.
Yeah, don't do that to us.
Don't do it.
But yeah, the belt's in the duffel bag, man. To go back to Wayne from earlier, man. I ain't never ran from nobody, but I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running.
No, that should be the BCC's new song. Get money. Mox and Double Bag Boys. Yeah, that's all of our super chat. Y'all are dope. I ain't never ran from a nigga, and that's where it has to start though. I ain't never ran from a nigga, and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Get money.
Whoa. I don't know if we need Mox and a bunch of white wrestlers coming out to that. Whoa.
That's just the intro. I ain't never ran from a nigga. You're like, wait a second. That sounds crazy coming with y'all.
Yeah, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need him to. Again, Manny Fresh should give us the censored version. Like, come on.
He did.
Oh, I don't know. From Tony P says, Dynamite had a great opening and closing, but the rest was we knew what was coming, but still got mad with me. It's not the win, but the thing is, what are you doing with Ring of Honor TK? Yeah, I think a lot of us. It just doesn't feel like much has changed with Ring of Honor in a year, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Like Final Battle's coming up again, and like I know it's gonna be should be the crowning moment for Big Billy Starks beating Athena, but like what else? Like what's gonna happen with the World Championship now? Like Chris Jericho's not gonna be on Final Battle, I think. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he kind of has to, right?
He should, definitely should, but I don't know.
Should be defending that belt, like.
Who are they? I'm so confused.
Yeah, we don't have really any big contenders set up.
Like, who's he gonna wrestle? Mark Briscoe again in a rematch? Like, I'm not trying to see that.
I'm not trying to see that either. See, we read this from Van Twin Blade earlier. From Tony P. He says, I know he said he was going to focus more on it at the pay-per-view presser, but for real, what you doing, man? Have to keep it short this week. But other than that, happy birthday, Will Washington. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Shout out to Will. I'll relay that message to him.
Yeah. From Pen to XGP, he says, since it's spooky season, can we talk about how great the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack is? Buddy, one of the first times I ever hung out with Will Washington, I remember us being in the car and rapping the lyrics to Bobby Brown's rap from the soundtrack. All-time great soundtrack, man.
5 to 10 two-steps to that Bobby Brown song. That Bobby Brown song is like, this is a hit, and this is a Ghostbuster song? Like, that's how you know a soundtrack is slapping. Soundtracks used to be like that, though. Like, hey, the soundtrack is hard, though.
Listen, man, too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Got the Ghostbusters and we in control. Come on, bro. That iconic, man.
They don't make personalized songs for movies anymore. Like that used to be a great genre. Like send it to a rapper and like have the rapper watch the movie and then he talks about the movie in the song. They don't make them like that anymore.
Listen, man, trying to battle my boys. That's not legal. Shout out to Bob, man.
Bob Brown, GOAT.
One of the greatest ever, man. Come on. Talk about another one up there with Flavor Flav. What a career. What a life, man.
Dog. Bobby Brown could definitely revive a Red Lobster if needed. Like, he's one of those guys.
Bruh. Man, I think very often, and one of the things I think often, and if you're wondering how my brain works, like I think random things all the time and start laughing. And one of the things I think about all the time is Bobby Brown jumping out of the helicopter, trying to get his arm out of that sleeve. And I know y'all getting bored.
I knew what you were going to say already. I was visually thinking of Bobby Brown getting out of the helicopter already. Dealing with them.
One of the greatest of all time, bro.
on that stuff in that video, you guys.
And I know y'all getting bored.
No, him doing the pump kick out of the helicopter gets me every time. Like, why did he do a pump kick? Shout out to the GOAT, Bobby Brown, man. If you haven't seen the Bobby Brown story on BET, like, yeah, you look for some entertaining 3-part series. Pull it up.
Bro, another great all-time Bobby music video moment is the record he had with which Marley is that? Is it Damian Marley, where he's in the video with the big afro and the shorts with the Timbs? Beautiful, you know it go, my love, you know.
The shorts with the great. Tim fucks me up every time. He's like, I need a special look for this. Let me get the big fro. I'm out of shorts with the Tims. It's gonna be lit.
Bob Brown, bro. There'll never be another Bobby Brown, man.
Never, ever. No. I think Bruno Mars tried to get some of that energy, but it's like Bob Brown does it different, dog.
Nah, man. Nah. I feel like we've taken completely over this Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack, talking about just how great Bobby Brown is.
Bobby Brown is incredible.
All-time great, man. Like, just,
I mean, he's the reason the soundtrack was hot, so.
Man, On Our Own, bro, like, man, that is a record, bro. He's got 2 songs on that soundtrack, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. They needed 2 Bob hits, yeah.
I'm forgetting everything that's on that soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, On Our Own is the like lead single, but
yeah.
Of course, Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters theme is on there, I'm sure.
The Ghostbusters theme, yeah.
Nah, man, that's another one I think about all the time. That parody of Ray Parker Jr. from Key and Peele when he's doing all the theme songs for other movies, and he's like, "Who's a slave? I ain't no slave. 12 years a slave.
I ain't a slave." Hell of funny, dog.
Oh man,
I ain't a slave.
12 years a slave. 12 years a slave.
Oh my god.
From Victor Bettino, fly for Will Washington's birthday. Peace? Question mark.
Peace.
I guess. Peace. One from Wongi says, "Good day, Grapsody fellas. Phil, who you got winning the Junior Tag League? I'm hoping Robbie and Fujita get it. Also happy to see some locals get the run in with Velocities being in it, and the Agatha show is very good. Now, Agatha all along has been fantastic. Perfect sequel to WandaVision. Great show. Who do I have winning? I'm gonna go with a safe pick and pick the Jet Setters. I kind of think they could end up winning here. I mean, sometimes the champions come in and they get upset, but I think that Kushida and Jet could use the win. I think it'd be cool to
like
see them
sometimes that does happen. The champions come in, but then sometimes it's just like this team should win this tournament. And that's what it feels like for the Jet Setters here. Velocities are tremendous. I saw them they came and worked West Coast Pro one time, and I was like, who are these guys? And they fucking turned it up. So I think them getting an opportunity like this with those great tag teams that are there is going to be awesome.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat are saying this week's episode of Agatha was very good. Very good episode. One of the best Marvel Disney Plus episodes we've seen, I think, of all time. I think the show has been really good.
Nice.
Somebody was talking about how good the Marvel stuff has been this year, and they put up a scene from Echo, and I was like, Echo was this year. I completely forgot. Also a pretty good show.
Time, dude. It's fucked up.
That is all of our Humper chats. Tony P got into a little bit with the Raw and SmackDown stuff. I'm still on.
Hey, what's over there? Super Chat can lead us into where we're gonna get to. Hey, what's over there? Says shout out to the Motor City Machine Guns and the Credit King himself. I just want to say Credit King on our show.
Credit King.
No, I don't want to. No, I would not go out there with you, Randy Orton. Please leave me alone. Don't put me on camera. Don't play my song.
Guys,
I'm like, what is happening here?
Them doing the commentary of somebody's got to get him this match and no one can get it except Triple H. I'm like, wait a minute. That's literally Nick Aldis's job on this show is to book the matches. What do you mean nobody can give Randy this match? Like, and even the way that they did this opening segment and, man, I know what you're doing. You're trying to protect Kevin Owens from me. And then it turns into, no, I'm not hiding the world from my son. I'm not hiding my son from the world. I'm hiding the world from my son. Like, wait a minute, bro. Him getting all the way to this, well, I'm not protecting him. I'm protecting you from him. It's like, dog, that kind of doesn't make sense.
No. Come on. This is Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, dog. Like, fight. I'm not protecting anybody from anybody. Like, why are we telling this story? This is so silly. Like, I know you wanted to get Credit Boy on the show, but the way that you're getting him here is like, shut up.
Yeah, that opening segment was very strange, but to get to all of that and then just sort of like, oh, well, I'm booking this match. You want the match, you're going to get the match. Well, I figured that's where we were going. I don't know why we needed to do this, but cool. Yeah, I think the title changes this week are going to be the title changes this week are going to be polarizing for some people.
Yes.
If you're fine with using title changes to drive a storyline, I could see this working for you. There were bits of it that I was looking at it like, all right, I get it, but there's also bits of this that I wasn't a big fan of either. Like Tony P was
saying, why did they
Raw,
give? We're getting to Jey Uso losing the IC title, and like we had such a debate on when it was happening and what was going to go to it. Why did they give him the championship for 3 weeks to appease Rikishi?
I don't know.
He's so over, Phil. Still, like when he came back, like he lost the belt for a reason. Like they connected the dots last night on SmackDown, which we'll get to. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they maybe lost the moment of like giving him a big pay-per-view win, and then they were like, well, we have to give this guy a win. And the IC title moment was the thing, but we all knew it was going right back to Braun. Like we talked on the show of like, good luck with this run, Jay, because it's going to go right back to Braun.
Yeah, I just think aspects of the build for this War Game match have been rushed. There are bits of it that are like working, absolutely, but there's some of it that is rushed. We talked last week about how we got the backstage segment and Jay's like, man, get out my face. I don't want to do this. And then, a few days later, he's like, yeah, listen, man, I just don't want to divide the family, man. Like, do what you got to do, but don't divide the family. And that leads to the stuff this week with the Bloodline coming to Raw. And it just feels like the way we got here was just a bit rushed. Now, I think all this stuff with Jay on Raw, it clearly kind of feels like it's handled by a different person.
It does, right?
The way that he's used on Raw feels a bit different. The way he reacts to things on Raw are a bit different. But the match itself was good. I enjoyed the match. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like on Raw, he's more of like on Raw, he's hard. He's like, I don't go fuck. Yes. I'm the main event star. I'm this guy. And then SmackDown, he's just like, I'm a part of the Bloodline. I will, you know what I mean? I'm a family guy, and it's like it feels like two different characters. Like you're telling me one thing on Monday, and then something completely different on Friday.
Yeah, he's definitely built this lane on Raw where he doesn't need to do anything with those guys anymore, and he's had success over here. And you can feel that. He feels like one of the main characters on Raw. Over there, he's still doing, hey, I'm very happy to be here. I'm still doing this Bloodline stuff reluctantly. But
it's like going backwards almost. Like it feels like when you're doing Bloodline stuff, it's like, no, you moved on, though. It doesn't even really make sense. Like I liked that because the Usos got back together. Like that's the main thing here. But the way that they're getting here is a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels rushed. And then like we had more time. Like you didn't have to rush into this.
Yeah, and there are so many things that I do like about Raw at the moment. I'm still here for 2 hours. It still feels like an easy breezy watch. I love the stuff that they're doing with the camera stuff. Like when Rollins came in and he jumped on Bronson coming in the door, and he was like, yeah, whatever. He's like, he starts booking it towards the entrance, and the camera's following him. His music hits. I think all of that was dope. The way he got down to the ring, ran down to the ring, and picked up a mic. Get out here, big boy. You want to be famous? I'm gonna make you famous. Loved it. I loved how they set up the match for the pay-per-view. I think all of that stuff with Bronson and him has been tremendous. And the same with this stuff with the way they've used Jay and the backstage stuff they've done with him, the way they show him in the crowd and everything. All of that stuff has been great. And same thing with Braun Breaker. The way that they've managed to make this heel character more interesting. They've got the catchphrase and stuff working. The match itself also, I enjoyed it.
Right.
But man, once Solo came down there, I was like, oh, here we go. This is exactly where it's going. He's going to cost him the match.
Yep.
Got to put the belt patch on Braun. And, well, let's get into that before I get into what I didn't like. First of all, this version of Bloodline is incredibly entertaining. Yeah. These four guys are very, very funny. And some of it is supposed to be funny. Some of it is very unintentionally funny.
I think all the unintentionally funny parts are way funnier. Like when there's like, you guys are this big badass group, but the unintentional funny parts are so funny.
Man, Solo coming down there with the shirt, and I said on Twitter, it very much looked like he was doing the Cody Rhodes Bloodline is fine bit with the shirt. Like, look, I got a shirt. Yeet. And he's like, hey, I got tickets. Yeet. All of this was very funny. His reactions to him, like, what's the problem? I'm just here to watch the show. I just want to help you. All of that was very, very funny. Tonga Loa, man. The way he sold that super kick and collapsed on the barricade, I was dying.
Tonga's having a great time. I love everything that he's doing. I love that he takes moments like this to do things like that. I don't know if it's on purpose. Like, if it's on purpose, he's amazing. And if it's not on purpose, it's amazing either way. You know what I mean? Like, he just always seems to fall into one of these.
So funny. He collapsed on the barricade and just kind of slid down. While he's sliding down the barricade, you hear Tama Tonga jumping in from behind him. He's like making Xena noises. I was like, what is doing?
So weird brother group, but I love it. It makes the contrast between Solo and Jacob and them two is like, it's perfect.
So funny. Jacob entering the fray and that stare down with Braun, money, man. You could tell.
Like, damn, WrestleMania main event right here. This is crazy.
You can tell how much the company is invested in those two guys. We got a question about this on Ask Grapsody about, does it seem too soon with Braun Breaker, and like that reaction and the crowd doing what you wanted them to do. That's exactly what WWE wanted. That made Braun feel like a bigger deal. That made that showed that all of the stuff you're doing with Jacob is working, because every time he has these stare downs with people, they react. It shows that all of the dream matchups that we want, the crowd is loving it. We're just like, bro, get to it. Get to the singles run with this guy, because this guy is this. He's it. He's him. And so I love all of that aspect of it. The stuff like getting God kicked out and having that distract Jay, and outside the ring, he comes back around to do the spear. All of that felt kind of silly. Now,
distraction finishes will be the fucking death of me, WWE.
Yeah. Jacob coming from behind the table and super kicking this guy's head off, and then hilarious. His reaction after he super kicked him was fucking hilarious, but also continues to make him feel like the biggest bad guy in this group. Love it. Yeah, but ending the show with Braun Breaker just champion again, and it
was mostly to tell Bloodline story and not for you know what I mean?
Yeah, which I felt the same way about the SmackDown finish as well.
Yes.
But this felt like you could have at least given Jay one title defense under his belt before you took the belt off of him and put it right back on Braun, because it just it immediately overshadows his moment. And he had such a great moment winning that belt, and he had so much good momentum coming out of that. it felt like they could have gave him something before they immediately took the belt off of him. He couldn't at least defend the belt at Crown Jewel or something.
One time. One episode of Raw. Like, it's not even, you're not even doing anything extreme. Like, we just need one defense, dog.
I mean, Sean, he couldn't win a title defense. Like, he couldn't get like a pay-per-view match at least with as champion.
Look like a strong champion for fucking one day, you know?
It happened too fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right. They're right.
What happened?
He did beat Woods. So he does have the one title defense.
Okay,
I forgot about that one. So he did have that one. But regardless, it just felt like they could have done more with him as champion. I felt, and I understand the story dictates. All right, you're never going to be done with this family stuff. And it kind of has this tone to it. Like, hey, Roman was right when he said we're stronger together than we are apart, because look at what this is doing. Like, now nobody has championships because all of these guys are fighting. Like, nobody wins when the family's feuding. And I get that aspect of the story. I just wish that we didn't have to rush and take the belt off of Jay.
Right. Because, like, I don't know if, like, Braun Breaker's going to be Intercontinental Champion, but, like, he didn't need to get immediately back to it. Like, we could have got back to it after War Games. We could have got, like, he's going to be champion. Like, he's going to be world champion very soon. Like, I don't think that was, like, the most important aspect. Now, them telling the story of, like, see, if you would have had your brother in Roman, then you wouldn't have lost it. I get it. And, like, they tied it into SmackDown, but it was just, like, you kind of use Jay at the expense of this, and like I think you could have it didn't have to be this. Like, a couple of defenses, a couple of things as the champion for a month or 2 months or something wouldn't have even been that crazy and had taken away from Braun. Like, Braun still was going to be dominant and seen as the person he is regardless.
Yeah, the whole distraction thing, having him get super kicked and rolled back in the room, and then he stands up to take the spear. I didn't really like it.
Dude, this distraction, because SmackDown was the same way. Like, everybody celebrating the Motor City Machine Guns. I was like, dude, there was a 10-minute match at the end of SmackDown, and 5 minutes of it was Bloodline bullshit. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
At one point, I yelled, "There's a match happening," and they weren't doing the match. It was Roman over here and Jay. They keep doing the hoodie reveal bit that, like, they're saying yeet, dog. They know it's you. You guys are doing reveals. As soon as you stepped from behind the barricade, they were chanting yeet. They already know it's you.
We know it's you, bro. Like, why are we still doing these hoodie reveals? Like,
what is this?
It feels like a bit at this point, and I think it was even funnier because they both did hoodie reveals, and Roman's just like, "No, I'm coming down to my theme music. I'm coming straight in there.
Like, play my song. I'm not gonna come from under the ring and pull my hoodie off." But yeah, they just, like, there's so much going on. I'm like, this moment is supposed to be for the Motor City Machine Guns, but god damn, there's just, like, so much. And that wasn't it. Like, they promoted a best of 7 series match, and then they had a shitty screwy finish on that. I'm like, you guys, just have a fucking finish that's normal, please.
I hated the finish to that Melo and Andrade match.
Awful, dog. You guys promoted online that this is a big 7. This is the most important thing, and then you guys do that. Leave me alone.
I hated that finish, man. For you to they had so much good going with Andrade and Melo. That has been the highlight for most episodes of SmackDown. They've been tearing it down, and you're like, this is it. They built this up. They said Game 7 multiple times coming into this. They built this up as this big final match for them, and then we didn't get that. You forced this special guest referee angle into the match where that hasn't been in any of the other 6 matches, and the way you did it of just like, oh, well, LA Knight's just sick of these guys. He's just going to beat up both of them and go ring the bell. I hated it, man.
Awful, dog. Imagine getting to Game 7 of the NBA Finals and the referee's just like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. We're not having this anymore. It's over. No, that's not how this works, dog. We're supposed to have some kind of restitution. The whole time we knew that LA Knight was going to screw him. He wasn't interested at all. I'm like, they built this whole series off of these great matches, and for them to end it like this, I know where you're going, but it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I hated that finish, and
hated it.
I do like that they're finally rewarding those 2 guys with the pay-per-view match, because they have been lighting it up on SmackDown, and it feels like Andrade and Melo are due the big pay-per-view match. So I'm glad that they are getting the big title match coming up at Crown Jewel, but boy, do I not like how we got there this week. I did not like that finish. And that played into, like you said, the stuff at the end of SmackDown with the Bloodline and Motor City Machine Guns. Now, you're doing two things at once. You're building this tournament thing that you're doing to make Motor City Machine Guns the number one contenders.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because they won.
That was a number one contenders match in there earlier in the show.
So they had the match with DIY, and this is again where DIY loses or wins, and immediately Bloodline comes out, overshadows anything going on with Bloodline. It seems like they're kind of teasing a split with them as well. It looks like they're teasing a turn.
Yeah. They're going to go back to the Ciampa he's evil, so blah blah blah. I get it. I understand what you're doing.
Yeah, but to do that, and we didn't get a chance to live with that moment. You didn't get that moment in the air before you hit the Bloodline music and move straight on. I don't think that really did that match or what you're doing with those two wrestlers any justice. And the match was very good. I mean, to no surprises, DIY.
It was just like the Mark Briscoe and Ishii bit. It's like you're immediately moving on. I need to live in this moment for 5 seconds before you move on.
Yeah, well, we didn't get a chance to do that, but very good match to nobody's surprise. It's Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, two very good tag teams. The match was excellent. I just wish that we got to live in a moment after it. It wasn't just like, moving on.
Bloodline series. Yeah, it was definitely like Johnny Gargano, like he lifted a lot of things off of Alex Shelley. So this match made I'm like, there was at one point where I was like, I think this guy's still in this guy's bits, but he was paying tribute. And so it kind of made sense that it was Motor City Machine Guns versus their kids, essentially. Very fun match. Yeah. They did like Motor City Machine Guns. It looks weird still though. Like when they come out with their lower third and I'm like, this looks, I still can't get used to it. These are TNA guys in WWE. So it just looks weird, but like, it's the Motor City Machine Guns we know. When the fucking bell rings, they're going in, they're doing the tag team moves. They did some innovative shit in this match right here. Like,
yes,
all of that felt great. But like immediately Bloodline's out here to ruin it. I'm like, you're getting to what I like. You're getting to Motor City Machine Guns as the world tag team champions. But like, we could have maybe told a different story to get there.
Yeah, so you got to into this, and the same with the finish and moving on from the DIY stuff immediately. We don't even get the moment of going, oh, these guys are number one contenders. Immediately, Bloodline comes out. Well, we're the number one contenders, so we're just waiting. Anytime you want to put those belts on the line, how about right now? And I was sitting there like, oh, it's wrestling. They're just going to tease this, and the heels are going to get out the ring. Nope, we actually got the match. And
I looked at the time, and I was like, oh, damn, there's still like 10 minutes. They actually might do this.
So you move straight into the tag titles match. And this was a pretty quick tag match. It's the same. I mean, just the idea of this, and all of the collective tag teams in this. When you just think about the idea of this, that Motor City Machine Guns beat DIY to have a match with Gorillas of Destiny, which concluded with the Usos interfering to help Motor City Machine Guns win. That sounds like some crazy fantasy booking from
and
somebody's
Jacob
e-fed.
Fatu was in there too. It's like, what are you saying? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that sounds like some crazy fantasy booking from somebody's e-fed. So when you think about that on the surface and summarize that, it's like, hey man, wait a minute. This tag team division can be cooking. But when you actually watch it, it doesn't feel like the emphasis is on tag team wrestling at all. It feels like the emphasis on story-driven stuff around it, and some tag team wrestling was here. And
tag team wrestling appetizer.
Yes, and it's the same what we got when Jacob came out and beat up DIY after they beat A-Town Down Under, and it felt like, okay, well, this is cool and all, but we're immediately moving on to this. This is what matters. Like, it's cool. Like, this tag team wrestling stuff is cool, but this stuff here, this is the stuff that matters, because that's what the indie segments are about. That's what the camera ends up on. This stuff matters more than tag team wrestling, and I don't like that. I don't like that. how we got here. I do like that they immediately put the belts on Motor City Machine Gun. They didn't build to it. They immediately are like, no, these guys are really, really good at tag team wrestling. Let's not even like tease it.
They're levels above every tag team here. They're one of the greatest of all time. They deserve this. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I do like that aspect. Again, like I was saying with other things, wasn't thrilled with how we got here. But what legendary tag team, man. They've won all over the world. New Japan, IWGP, World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, New Japan Strong Champions, GCW, PWG, TNA, Ring of Honor, now WWE World Tag Team Champions. What a run. All-time great tag team, just off the resume of all those belts that they've won. What a career.
That's crazy. I had tweeted something about the Motor City Machine Guns, and a bunch of people were not very happy about me, even though I was just like, they should probably be on the main roster winning the tag team championships immediately. And people are like, no, that's stupid. They should go to be in NXT.
Yeah. I always thought that was weird that people were like, oh, put them on NXT. Like, these guys, if you want them to
Did you just hear the resume that Phil said? He named off 20 different tag team championships, dog.
Yeah. Well, if you want these guys to come in and reinvigorate your tag division, you put them straight on a roster where they're going to wrestle the good tag teams. You got them on a roster with DIY, Street Profits, Pretty Deadly. No, get to it, man. Like, that's where you're going to get the better matches.
Yeah, this made a lot of sense. Like, get it to them immediately. Let's have them lead the way on how we develop the tag team wrestling. Because, like, if all the tag teams you're trying to develop and make it more credible threats, having the Motor City Machine Guns as the one that they're going against, like, we're making a lot of money here. So when they announced that they were going to sign with WWE, I'm still going to be hesitant because this didn't help their tag team as a whole, like kind of how the surroundings were mostly Bloodline, but having Motor City Machine Guns as the champions is a step in the right direction, and I hope that they just get to cook as the tag team champions. So they're not really that hard. Put these guys in tag team matches with the belts on the line, like, we're making money. But if you're going to continue to do immediately after getting to Bloodline, immediately after getting to something else, that's not the way to help the tag team division.
Yeah, I agree. Get the tag belts on pay-per-views, build some feuds on TV, put those belts on pay-per-views. You got a ready-made feud for Motor City Machine Gun with the Street Profits because they don't feel like they lost that match to DIY. It makes all the sense in the world to go to that. And boy, when you're talking about Hoopers in there, man, Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns, that's going to cook. So, hopefully that's where we're going.
The rest of SmackDown was a good sign of where we need to lead. I mean, it ended with Jay and Jimmy hugging. Like, gots to see Motor City Machine Guns versus the Usos. Like, that's a given.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a better match between Motor City Machine Guns and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in there.
Yeah,
this wasn't really built as a strong showcase of both those tag teams. This was really built as like a storyline stuff after the actually good tag team match before it. And right. I'm not mad at that. It just feels like a lot of this is rushed. The story elements of this match, man, of having all of this stuff going on outside, having the solo interference stuff during the match, and the Jacob interference stuff in the match that leads to Jimmy coming out. And like you said, we're still doing the silly hoodie reveals. I didn't really need that, but I do think all of the stuff that I knew was going to happen that was linked to this, like the Usos getting back together and that getting the big pop, all of that stuff, of course, worked. Having Jimmy come out there first and making us think, all right, this is just leading to maybe them coming out there and getting beat up again. But nope, this is we got the surprise finish. Motor City Machine Guns are your new World Tag Team Champions, but also, yeah, Jimmy interfering, that wasn't enough to turn the tide. Then Roman's music hit. He comes out there. He's beating fools down. That evens the score. But to get revenge for losing the belt, eye for an eye, Jey Uso does come out, also wearing a hoodie for some reason. I did love the fact that just to see how engaged the audience is with this storyline, that the second Jimmy and Roman got taken off the board, the crowd immediately started chanting Yeet. And when he popped up in a hoodie, big pop for him. As soon as he took the hoodie off, big reaction for him. That's all dope for him and those three guys, because you just know when those three guys get it together and they get the band back together ahead of War Games, massive pop that's going to be big for those guys. Again, I just wish they didn't need to book this on top of Motor City Machine Guns winning their belts. Like, give these two things a chance to breathe. But yeah, we got the big win for the Motor City Machine Guns. Ended the night with the Usos embracing in a ring. They are officially, seemingly, a tag team again. Fences are mended, but we also got a very melancholy Roman Reigns standing at the top of the apron, because if these guys are back getting along, that means he's got some apologizing to do. There's some awkwardness between him and Jay, and how is that going to get sorted out? I do think that was a great way to end the show. That's a good cliffhanger. All of that stuff was good. I just wish it wasn't so co-intermingled and just like, hey man, like I like chicken. I like greens. I like all of these things, but I don't need them all on top of each other, man. Like let me savor these flavors, man. I don't need them all mixed
They don't
together.
need to be a burrito, dog. Like, you can have it. I can have 3 separate meals of these things. I thought they could have made these 2 separate moments. Like, the Motor City Machine Guns could have gotten their moment, celebrated them, and we still could have got to Jimmy and Jay. I thought that they might have pushed the embrace. I thought they were going to push the embrace till War Games in the match. I was actually surprised that they got immediately to like, nope, they're back. They're going to hug right here. I guess the more Roman and Jay is probably the bigger embrace moment that they're going to get to at War Games, and that's going to be a fucking huge pop and like change the game. So this was all beyond it being attached to the Motor City Machine Guns and being unfortunate. We all knew that this was going to happen, and I thought that the elements that needed to hit did hit.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that they rushed to the hug with them, because it does feel right that those two would make up before Jay and
brothers.
Roman would make up. And I get that part of it, and we still got other things to get to. If this is going to be a 4-man team, I have to imagine this is leading to Sammy being involved in some way. And we've got some weeks to get that sorted out. We got all of these guys have things to sort out with Roman. You got to sort out things with Jay and Roman. You got to sort out things with Sammy and Roman. But also, you've got a guy running around SmackDown that is mad that Cody Rhodes, of all people, would team with Roman. Imagine how he's going to feel if he turns around and Sami Zayn is also teaming with him. He's going to have his big... he's going to have his big Frank Grimes moment of like, why is this happening? Like, why are you guys acting like he didn't make all of our lives a living hell? Like, why are you guys just like readily going to help him? He doesn't need our help. All of that stuff, I think, is going to be great.
Cody and Cody is unfortunate for KO because that's his homie, but Sammy being out there, like you of all people being out there, and we talked about this shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. What we did at WrestleMania and everything, what we had to overcome to get, we had to get to the point where I felt like I could trust you again going into WrestleMania, and I trusted you, and you're just going to run back over there and work with these guys again.
You better be mad.
Yeah, a lot of really good story elements coming out of this. I do kind of feel like some of it's a bit rushed, but it's all getting the intended reaction. It's all making stars out of a lot of these guys involved in it. There's no denying that Jay going away to Raw ended up benefiting him for the better. That time away from SmackDown and him coming back, he feels like a much bigger star. When the Usos do go on a run as a tag team again, they're going to feel that much bigger.
They're out of here.
So yeah, I do like.
There's
a lot
exciting
of this.
point to this for sure.
Yeah, I do like a lot of this. I think the execution could have been a bit better. That's all.
Yeah, it was. It's so funny because we have time. Like we didn't just start building this. This is a fucking 4-year-old story. We could have been telling this the last couple weeks. We could have been establishing it. Now it just feels like, okay, we got to get to War Games, get everything down. It's like we could have let it slow build. Like, it's already been a slow build, but now it just feels like they're like, okay, we got to get to this match. Let's get to it. I saw a lot of stuff that people already knew was gonna happen, so it's not the absolute worst. But I mean, the Motor City Machine Guns thing is pretty egregious, regardless. Like, you sandwiching stuff between their title win, and it's like, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I would have been fine with them just winning clean.
It would have worked out.
You're doing this eye for eye thing, and I really didn't agree with the way you took the belt off of Jay to begin with, but then to do that to lead to this by the end of the week and Motor City Machine Guns winning that way, I don't really like that. But again, it's Motor City Machine Guns, and I can't help but be happy for those guys because they're phenomenal. They're an incredible tag team. Seeing them in a WWE ring holding those belts, and like with all the other things they've accomplished, I could not help but be happy for them because they deserve this.
Dude, Selly and Saban, dude. Chris Saban, Alex Shelley, longtime indie veterans, longtime TNA veterans. Their style has been stolen for the last 20 years right in front of our eyes. They're wrestling people that's still their style. So this is, like I said, it looked weird. Like, still seeing them, like, this is SmackDown and this is Saban and Shelley feels weird, but them, like, they're not out of place at all because they've been doing their style of match on TV for the last 15 years. So it's like, oh yeah, now we get to see who kind of innovated this stuff. And like, I'm happy that they're finally getting their moments, because like, you know how many years Saban and Shelley have done interviews and people are like, well, what about WWE? And like, Saban had just won the TNA Impact World Championship. Well, what about WWE? And Alex Shelley's all this. Well, what about, like, that's always been like in the back of everybody's minds about the Motor City Machine Guns. So them finally doing it, they won the tag team championships. They should have like a big WrestleMania moment this year. They should establish this tag team division to even higher heights. This is exciting for those two guys and well deserved. Like, they need these flowers. Yeah,
very happy for them. And I think, all around, it was a great way to end SmackDown with the cliffhanger of the SmackDown, of the Bloodline stuff, but also them getting their win.
Pretty good.
Again, execution and stuff that I didn't like to the side. Still a very cool moment for them.
Right. And people seem to really like the SmackDown. Like, most of the feedback from it is like, that was one of the greatest SmackDowns of all time. So like, good for them.
Yeah, because I do think the matches that were good, because the match was good, the best of 7 match until we got to that finish. I didn't care for that. And we did get a good tag team match. The women's stuff continues to be...
kind of. I mean, like, they won the championships.
Yeah. And the women's match continues to, come along. I enjoy what the story they're building with Bianca and Naomi. Kind of feels like they're eventually going to challenge for those women's tag titles. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that they keep like showing those two together. They keep doing things together, and they have like this alliance separate from the big three. And I think that's going to be this thing that pushes Bianca over the edge. Like, what are you doing over there with her? I've told you about her. Why won't you listen to me? She's the problem.
And I keep being like, Bailey's my homegirl. I don't know. What do you want to do? What you want me to do?
Man, she was so happy with her, man. Like, her, picking her up on her shoulders, like at the end, and they're like taunting each other. Like, bro, she really likes Bailey. So.
Me too. I really like Bailey a lot too. That outfit. Jesus Christ.
Girl, you like my outfit? Don't even.
Bailey's insane. But yeah, they announced for the pay-per-view, the women's tag team championships will be in a fatal 4-way tag match. So they had a fatal 4-way match coming or something. So I think that the women's tag team division, it seems like they are making more emphasis on, they are putting it on it, but it's like they still got to stick the landing with the matches. They still got to stick the landing with more stories being told.
They've definitely made strides with them.
They have.
And I do think the end result to this is potentially Naomi and Bailey beating them for the tag belts.
I mean, because we still potentially might get to the one-on-one, like the breakup of Jade and Bianca and have a one-on-one match, right?
Yeah, which the Jade tweet this week also was interesting. People seem to think See, because she tweeted, I miss stomping on people and being that bitch. And people seem to think that meant she misses AEW and the way she was used in AEW. That isn't how I read that at all.
I didn't read that. Mm-hmm.
I think that read as, hey, this is cool. Like, we've been doing the kissing baby
shit.
waving thing for a while. I'm ready to get back to it and be a singles wrestler. I think this is the first hints of her going back to being an outright heel, and that's the best use of her. That's her bread and butter as a character. She's just better as a heel, and I'm ready. I'm ready for her to just go back to being a heel again.
Yeah, I didn't. When people were trying to read it as she wants to go back to AEW. I'm like, no, she's saying like this tag team shit is fun. I like this Bianca stuff. I've been having fun, but I want to be a singles champion. I want to be the women's world champion. Like I want to be what I was in AEW, dominating, having this long win streak. Like Phil said, like this kissing baby, shaking hands. We're happy to be here hosting the pay-per-views is fun, but I want to get back to it.
Are you serious? Like Jade, can you imagine Jade where she was 2 years ago as TBS champion, going into Atlanta, like what Atlanta means to her? Like, bro, that's cool. Like being able to host and be in that room with rappers and influential people, but I'm ready to get back to it and show y'all like none of y'all are on my level. Like, and it ain't me. Like that's the thing that I think that they're building here. It ain't me that's losing this matches. I didn't lose that match to EO. I did not lose to Nia. She had to cheat. She didn't beat me.
And that's kind of Bianca's bit too, of like Bianca does still kind of play the happy to be here. I'm like fighting for the company, rah rah, it's us. And Jade is like, no, it's me. I want to get paid. I want to be the world champion. I want to be the best. I'm not here for friends and shit.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it that much when we talked about we really didn't talk about the PWI Women's 250 at all. We just kind of were like, congratulations to the women. But just that note of how far Bianca has dropped down the ranking is interesting. There's two ways to look at this. I think that there's story elements to this that are ripe for the picking. But at the same time, I also kind of don't like that. I won't say that they're wasting her in this tag team because there's clearly something they're doing here. There's a story brewing here. Right. But Bianca she's a big match wrestler. And I think they're doing
She's established that. That's the part that's crazy. Like she was going on to have this crazy WrestleMania run. She's have all these great big matches. Like that was her thing.
She's a big match wrestler. And I think they're kind of doing a disservice by not presenting her as a big match wrestler. Right. And that doesn't mean they have to take her out of this tag team to do that. You could do big matches with the tag teams. But, man, it's just the same as what I'm saying with Jade. Like, this run with them as a tag team has been cool. But I'm kind of ready to see both of them get back to what they're good at.
I feel like they're hiding away Bianca in this tag team is the thing. Like they're not like, it's not like this is the Bianca we were presenting, a big star. She's going to main event WrestleMania. And now it's like, let's put her over here in the tag team so we won't have to give her real important things, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, this was a pretty big dip for her in the PWI and how, I mean, she was among the top 3 for like 2 years in a row, and for her to jump all the way out of the top 20, correct? She wasn't even top 20.
Yep.
That's pretty telling. But again, there's a story that's right for the picking. Her struggles as a singles wrestler in 2024 and her trying to find her way back to dominance. I think there's a good story there. But also at the same time, like, I can see Jay looking around like, that's a you problem. I came in and I threw Nia out that ring. Y'all been struggling to take this belt off of Nia all this time. I beat Nia by myself. Yep. And so there's already ways you can create this rift between them, and it just makes too much sense to turn Jade heel, man. Like, I think she's a
better heel. That's just all it is.
I think there's an interesting Bianca heel turn that you can do, but I just don't buy that they're going to do that. She's a white meat baby face for them. They making too much money off of her promotion and everything. The money isn't
show like that's not a heel.
No, the money is in Jade as a heel, man, and the money is not just in Jade as a heel. The money is in their one-on-one match eventually.
Yes, the money is in Bianca as a baby face also. Is part of know what I mean. Like she just reads that her spirit, everything about her is babyface. And I feel like the same exact thing for Jade as a heel. Like everything about Jade reads as a heel. The way that she looks, the way that she talks. She wants to tell you you're a bum. Like she doesn't want to shake hands.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. I'm ready for her to get back to it. Her coming out there and, doing the cool, cute flexes and dances with Bianca and the other three. Like, hey, I'm having fun. This is sisterhood, bro. I know you won't really want to do that, Jay.
No.
I said,
she wants to call somebody a bum.
I know you want to get out there and call these smelly wrestling fans trailer park trash like The Rock. I know you want to call these dudes bums. I know you want to go out there and say that I'm fine and the rest of these women behind me ain't shit. I'm ready for you to get back to it, man. I'm ready. Like I read
that look of like, why are you talking to me? And since she's been in WWE, and that's like her signature look of like, ugh, why are you even in the same ring as I am,
bro? And if they're smart, because I got a little inkling of this in the Cody promo. If they're smart, the second she says cut the shit for the first time, bro, they got to get back to it. And that's why I'm like, I read that tweet totally different, man. Because when we're back to her being that bitch for real, that's the move, bro. That's the move. I'm sorry.
Netflix, you could say shit and bitch on Netflix. Like, we could really get to it very soon here. Like, what's going on? But yeah, regardless of all of it, like, we just want to see Jade as the Jade, and that's what that tweet kind of read to us, at least. And Bianca, same thing. We just want to see the star Bianca that was fucking headlining WrestleMania and having two of the best WrestleMania matches ever, dog. Like, why wouldn't you want more of that?
Yeah. Again, I feel like that should be the move going into WrestleMania 41. These two having a singles match, this leading to big stadium match, and Bianca getting back to doing what she does best. Jade get back to doing what she does best.
Yep.
We got any super chats before we get up out of here?
Yeah, we got a couple super chats before we fly out of here and celebrate for the rest of our day with our friend. Hey, what's over there says, anytime I hear Bobby Brown, I can only picture Ari Spears and Deborah Wilson from Mad TV and the skits on them. Those were some pretty wild skits. Leonard Aarons III says, Mox is so pissed at where the company is. He doesn't want to carry the belt with pride in a way he did it 2 to 3 years ago. To the duffel bag thing.
That is a good touch that I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Because like the whole last thing of him being champion was like rah team AEW type speeches. We got to get together. This company is this, and now it's kind of the same energy, but it's different.
It's different energy of like, hey, I waved the flag for this company because I was proud of what we created. I'm not proud of what this company has become. And also, you don't get to just get me as flag bearer again because I bailed you guys out several times when something else happened and you're like, hey, give this guy the baton. Nah, I'm about to put this belt in the bag over here, and if you want it, come beat me.
Dog, that is a hell of a L. I didn't think about that. Of like, you guys called me to save this company 2 or 3 times, and like this time it's not gonna be the show that you guys want. Like, I'm gonna save this company, but I'm gonna save it my way.
Yeah,
super dope. Hey, what's over there says the Credit King is in the building.
Bro,
he was.
He was definitely in the building. Brooklyn, what's up?
And having still the credits rolling at the end, it just kills me every time.
Yeah, there were. I don't think it was on accident either. That there were a lot of NXT vibes to that SmackDown as well, and like what NXT means to Brooklyn and takeovers and everything. I don't think that was a coincidence at all.
It does make sense to start with Triple H in Brooklyn, huh? I see you. I see you.
Yeah, and making tag team a bit of a focus on the show and some of the stuff, making Angle the focus on the show. That's a very NXT thing to do, especially during the Black and Gold era.
Yeah. Yep. Aaron Busby says, if nobody gonna say it, I will. Vinnie Mac booked Bianca better than Hunter was on the main roster. I didn't forget how she was booked in NXT. This is the same thing that Bobby Lashley was saying, Aaron Busby.
Yeah, we did get a Bobby quote this week of Bobby saying he felt like it was a spit in the face that they didn't give them a chance to go out in front of a live audience with what they built with Hurt Business, especially because everybody didn't want to go out there and work empty arenas. Not only did they work empty arenas, they took the ball and they were killing it. And you didn't reward them by letting them at least see the fruits of their labor in front of live crowds. I totally understood why he was irritated with that. And then you kept jerking us afterwards going, "Oh, we'll reunite you here. We're gonna give you a chance later." And it never happened. I can very much understand why he was annoyed with that. But that last line of that quote of yeah, I think that was very loaded, and that reads with what some of the criticism has been of Triple H lately. And it's in your face. Like, I don't think anybody can keep trying to act like there's no truth to this when there's so many hints that wrestlers leaving there and certain things happening. Like Bianca, absolutely, I think was booked better 2022, 2023 run for sure. And it does look away that they never put that NXT Women's Championship on her. And she was a highlight on NXT for some time, and they didn't pull the trigger there. And when you look at how she's booked here, there are correlations to be made.
Dog, in 2022, she was in all the commercials, all the advertisements, like the way that she was presented was way different. Like, she was like in front and center. Like, she was like, they were like, this is our big star. This is the future of our company. And it's not. Like, we just talked about the PWI thing. She was number one on the BW 500, and I was like, I have to make her number one. She is that person, and like, it's not like that.
Bro, people were saying she was booked like Cena last year.
They did.
Man, like, this is a big change. Now, again, I don't think that is totally a bad thing, because I do think people got tired of her just beating everybody, and I think the journey back is a good story. But I do think that two things can be true.
Yes.
Two things can be true.
Jess Ricardo says, a wild will appears. Happy birthday. I'll relay all your extra happy birthday messages to Will Washington very soon here. And hey, what's over there says, Vince being more appreciative of black talent versus the Credit King would be a wild take.
That is, specific ones. I mean, Bobby already told you publicly that he enjoyed working with Vince more. He's already said that. I mean, Ricochet basically said as much as well.
Same thing. Mm-hmm.
I
think Bobby's probably the most telling, though, because, like, he was world champion. Like, he's been there. He's like, no, I was presented how I want to be presented back then. And it's interesting that when someone describes the new regime, how the side of, like, sometimes it's like, the new regime is great. I can't believe we're doing that. Then other time it's like, the new regime is, they don't really hear what I'm trying to say. It's really interesting, the context of those things when you hear them from different sources.
Yeah.
That's all of our super chats for now. We appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you guys as always. I don't think we have any more Humper chats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna double check that to make sure, but I think we're ending with our guy Wonga in our Humper chats. Appreciate him as always, coming from Australia. Before we get out of here, big news: Samantha Irving has announced that she is wrapping up. Has wrapped up her time with WWE. That led also to the announcement that Lillian Garcia is back full time. I did not see any of this coming. I mean, let alone just the fact that Samantha's leaving. But Samantha leaving and Lillian Garcia being back, that's like, what?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're going to pull anybody off the bench and put them on in Samantha's place, Lillian makes a lot of sense. Of course, icon from the Attitude Era, an incredible announcer, a memorable time with the company. This makes a lot of sense. The Samantha stuff is interesting. The response to the Samantha stuff was very, very strange.
She's been so polarizing online that like everything she kind of gets to is attached like that. Like people either feel like she's the greatest ring announcer they ever heard or she's the worst. Like there's no in between. Like people are so extreme on where she is. So this was kind of surprising because I was like, Cody, like there's all these wrestlers that like feels like they made her attached to their entrances. Like Cody would like emphasize when she did her thing. It like felt like she was going to be a part of this. But then there was like another part that felt like I don't know if the company is loving the way that she moves and the way that she presents herself and the way that she does things, because they're so by the books and basic and like they just want things to be regular, and she doesn't do regular. Like she just changed the whole game. Losing a great young talent and calling a 58-year-old woman is crazy, though. I don't care how you spend that. Like, you call a 58-year-old woman, dog. There's the not 58-year-old woman that could have this job.
I mean, also, a legend. And
but I just kind of hate going, like, what helped us before? Like, when Def Rebel leaves and people are like, call Jim Johnson. I'm like, Jim Johnson's 72 years old, you guys. Like, let's call some people that... Lillian Garcia's not going to be here in 10 years at 68, dude. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do see that point, because I mean that's a part of why it's so cool that they are using Aisha Taylor.
Exactly.
I'm saying her name right on SmackDown. And I do think that you could have brought in somebody else, but I mean it does seem like this happened pretty fast, and so they needed a replacement pretty quick. So maybe that's why they went straight to call her off the bench. I don't know, but a lot of this is very interesting. A lot of this is very interesting because we got the report at one point that got immediately debunked that she came in with her notice and it was the day of, which doesn't make sense at all with the way that corporate structure is, the way that they do things over there, and the way that it seemed like she enjoyed her time there. I don't see her leaving there in a way that's not amicable. Alicia Taylor. I'm sorry, I said Aisha. That's why I was trying. I think I'm saying
Alicia
her name
Taylor.
wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alicia Taylor. My bad. Sorry. Which she's great.
Alicia Taylor. She's really good.
Yeah, I love her look. I love her voice. I think she's great. Again, sorry, Alicia Taylor. Sorry. But I don't think she would leave in that way. I think she'd want to handle this in about the most amicable way as possible. I don't see her going out that way. And so when we got the report that they had already known and they already had Lillian backstage because they already knew she was going to be leaving, and her announcement going up the way that it did, and she was very appreciative of her time with the company, all of that adds up. Now, I do think that she had a great run. I think that she the fact that you've got somebody like Michael Buffer coming out and saying like how great she was
the one,
and just like the response to her leaving was such a big deal from people that worked there and people in the industry that saw what she was doing. I think that says a lot about just how much she stood out as a ring announcer. I think she's been fantastic, and I do think she will eventually come back and do some more ring announcement, whether it's there or somewhere else. I don't think she's done, because she had such a great run in just such a short period of time that I just can't see this being it.
I think carving your lane as a ring announcer, specifically in WWE, in this short amount of time and getting so much positive feedback. Michael Buffer, who many consider the greatest ring announcer of all time, is like, me and my wife think she's the greatest. Like, all these people are giving her this admiration in such a short amount of time. I think it's a testament to how she works. It seems like she probably might have stayed, but she wanted to do some extracurricular. She wanted to do some other projects, and WWE just don't. They don't like that shit. They're like, you're doing WWE things and that's it. And like, she wants to do music. She's so talented. Like, she can't be stuck in one box. And I felt like she was just stuck in a box in WWE.
Yeah, which leads us into the response to her leaving, and people immediately going, oh, you better not be going over there, and this is all Ricochet's fault because now she's going over there. And you guys didn't even know the full story before you start jumping out the window and yelling at Ricochet, yelling at her, saying
Ricochet had
things.
to come out and be like, no, dude, leave me out of this. That's not what this is.
Yeah, I think all of that is gross. I think the idea that she had this success on her own as a ring announcer and just thinking, all right, well, because I'm leaving the company, you have to leave too. Like, I wouldn't have just jumped to that conclusion. And it doesn't seem like
That's
Ricochet
silly.
is that kind of guy.
not.
Of course, I don't know the guy, but just like based off of like how happy it seemed like he was for her and her work over there, I don't think he would do that to her. This seems more like, this was her move to make the jump. And then we got, basically both from Lillian's response to her coming in from IG and some other things that came out that this wasn't about that at all. She just wanted to do some other things other than wrestling. And, we've known for a long time, once you're in with WWE, this is it. This is it.
Like, why you can't do that over here? You want to do so? You want to act? You can act over here. You want to sing? You can sing over here. It's like, no, no.
This is it. So I do think that they may have made a mistake by not just letting her do the outside interest and just continuing to let her do the work here. Maybe that would have interfered with her work, but she was doing such a great job as a ring announcer, and that's such easy promotion for you that I don't see why you wouldn't just let her do both. I don't know, but not really my place to say that one way is the right way or not, because I don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't know, but good for her, man. Good for her making a decision, because I have to imagine that had to be a difficult decision. You have this career run as a ring announcer, and you're just deciding, I want to bet on myself because I am talented and I want to do all these things. I want to do something else. So good luck to her, man. I hope that this works out, and regardless of what happens, I do think she'll be back. I do think we'll see her in a ring doing as a ring announcer again.
I feel like even if it's not AEW or WWE again, like boxing's going to be calling, like she's going to be getting calls from all around now, like getting that look, and then she's going to do even more to get bigger looks. Like we have not seen the last of her as a ring announcer.
For sure. I think just the idea of her expanding and getting a chance to do something like possibly doing boxing or possibly doing MMA or something else, even if it's just like a few one-off appearances, that's going to do so much for her. And so, man, I'm happy for her. I think that she handled this in a very classy way, and I can't see where this is like a burning bridge thing. I could see her easily showing back up, man. And people, like, to your point, man, maybe we could have brought JoJo in on Raw. Maybe JoJo could still come in. There are other people that could come in and do things here. I don't know.
Just kind of confused. I guess it does feel like everything was happening really fast. So, I mean, if you like, what do we do? What do we do? Like, we know somebody to call that can do the job. Like, you call them. Like, of course, they would call Lillian Garcia. She has such long tenure there. Like, it makes sense. But it was just like, why not? But like, nobody says anything's permanent. We could have a different ring announcer next week. Like, nobody knows anything at this point.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like we needed a ringer. We needed somebody that knows our system, that knows our product, that has worked here. Let's get her in now, and then we can make a long-term decision later. I don't think that this is just like, all right, well, she's full-time for the next few years. It could be like, hey, if this works out, she will be full-time, but also we could, do some musical chairs here, and that might not be the case.
Right. Yeah. So shout out to Samantha. She's going to succeed because she's amazing. And shout out to Lillian for being back in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, very surprising. I did not expect any of this at the beginning of the week. I was like, okay, wait. Samantha's gone?
Yeah.
Lillian's in? Oh, okay. Yeah, but also, as I've said before, you don't know these people. Stop being fucking weird.
That's fact. Don't be weird, you guys. Why are you being weird?
Stop being fucking weird.
Like, no matter whatever, any reason that Samantha wanted to leave, if she did want to leave for AEW, she could fucking do that, you fucking dumb idiot.
It's her choice, man. Like, making this into a tribalist thing of, oh, you better not go over there. What are you going to do if she does? Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Sickos.
Yeah, weird. But yeah, that is all of our topics. I believe that is all of our Humper Chats. It's all of our Super Chats, correct?
Yep.
But you know what time it is? It's that time where I bid you adieu. This has been a fun one. Happy birthday to our friend gonna show up and show out to help him celebrate later tonight. I got a flight
bottle.
to catch in. I got a flight to catch in a few hours, and yeah, man, appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with us. Appreciate you guys for sending your well wishes to our guy and helping him celebrate his birthday. But this has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. That's Righteous Reg. We are out of here.